Anyways,
Fantastic.
are we rolling, D?
We're rolling.
Okay.
And I'm on you.
Great.
You're going to be on Andrew.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yami D. All right. Keith Murphy, welcome
Thank you
to
very
Going
much.
Again podcast.
This is a pleasure and possible honor.
Well, we'll take both.
It's a
It is
pleasure
for
and an
us.
honor
No,
for
no,
us.
It is for us.
This is great. I've been hearing about this from friends that you've had on here and how much fun it is. And when you guys reached out to me, it was like, really? Love to do it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
Stoked to have you.
And we don't want you to mention Danny Bailey.
No.
No.
Dick Deacon.
Yeah. Oh,
That's his in college. We met in college.
really?
Yeah, Danny used to be Dan Bob
Okay.
and Dick
Oh,
Deacon.
he told us about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, he was Dick Deacon for the. I still see him. I call him Dick Deacon. Just,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I will now.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
He was awesome. He was,
You know,
he was
it's-
great to have
it's-
on.
I mentioned you earlier. It's my fault.
Okay, so that's going to take an explanation.
When we were going to Coconut College, Conestoga College.
Okay.
Danny was very much with. He's got that beautiful baritone voice.
Yes, he
And
does.
he was in the radio stream, and we hit it off. But like all of us got along really well in that program and a few other programs that kind of, you know, the advertising and design program, the film program. We all kind of hung out together. But Danny I kind of exposed him to cameras.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah. He has said that to me more than once. Yeah, it's your fault.
Okay, so that's your
Wow.
fault, not his crazy, wild personality.
No, that's part of the package, man.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, and I used to think he was like a cross between Hulk Hogan and Brian Mulrooney. So
Well, I don't. Okay. That's quite a picture.
I know. Yeah,
He rested his balls right there.
I
right where
noticed.
you're leaning.
I have it. I put on there Dick Deacon.
Sweet.
Yeah. But Danny's go back. I don't get to see him as much. You know, families got started growing and
Sure.
things of that
Happens.
nature, and so.
So did you live in Kitchener? Or
I did. I actually lived in Cambridge for the first little while. We were up by Fairview Mall, and then we were renting townhouses down in I can't remember what the area is. It was just south of the 401. It was kind of a.
like a dune?
It was not near. It wasn't all the way to Dune. It was right at the first exit, but just south of there.
Just off
Yeah.
Highway 8?
Yeah, you know what?
Preston Village or whatever it's called.
Preston. Yes, Preston. I think
At the
that's
top of the hill? Right off the
This is
401.
Shantz
This
Hill
is
and all that.
1978,
Oh, wow.
79.
We're discussing the whole map.
Yeah,
Here.
this was a long time ago.
We can't,
it was
we can't talk about the 70s.
it was
We don't remember them.
Don't remember. Yeah, it was Preston, and it was. I think it looks like it was a Walmart center now, but these were like dumpy.
A Walmart.
Well, the box stores are.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it was
24.
over there.
Okay.
Yeah, it used to be these townhouses, and back then we could rent a 4-bedroom townhouse for $400 a month. So when you go to school, $100 a month rent was
Yeah,
actually
100%.
$100 per month would be pretty good now.
And then Conestoga is just down the highway and off.
Oh, it was great. You know, we would go the back way, cut down past Nicholson's, and
Oh.
yeah. Well, maybe we knew where Nicholson's was because Conestoga at that point didn't have a pub. So what they did is encourage us to get in our cars, drive over the highway, go to Nicholson's, eat the battered fried mushrooms, drink a shitload of draft beer, and then drive back.
Yeah, that's what we did in the 70s.
And the staff were drinking down at the golf course.
At the Dune Golf Course.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
wasn't even alive then, but I missed those.
Well, I
days.
spent a whole lot of time at Nicholson's.
I had hair.
As did I. That's hilarious.
Yeah, so that's where I go back with Danny that long. You know,
Wow.
every once in a while I will run into him. You know, especially when he was shooting car racing, and I love my shooting my car racing and that sort of thing. So,
Right on.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm actually really good at that.
No
That's-
way.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Okay, because
Yeah.
we were saying you're not very good at anything else.
No, I sucked at Steadicam.
Yeah.
You should have seen what Danny was saying about you.
Oh my God. Yeah, I owe him $10. Yeah.
I'm doing the text him right now.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Excellent.
That's cool. Send him a
Yeah.
pic.
Yeah.
Oh, that's even a better
Shoot
idea.
a pic of Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
tell him
awesome.
I signed where he rested his balls.
This is going to be a good podcast.
Yeah, I like that. Every guest after this is going to go, is this where Danny rested his balls? Do I have to sit here?
Exactly. Exactly.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
But you live in Toronto?
no used to. 30 years ago, though, when we first started our family, we had an opportunity to move out to the country in the Niagara region. My wife is from the Port Colborne area. She grew up on a dairy farm, and her mom and dad were still working the family dairy farm.
Right on.
And with whether I was living in Toronto or not, you know the hours.
Yeah.
So they're never home, so it made more sense to be closer to her mom and dad. So there was family extended support. You know, just the kids are young and
Sure.
they're toddlers and that sort of thing. So that's we found this property in just outside of a little hamlet called St. Anne's, which is outside of the small town of Smithville and south of
So
Beamville.
just a second. Smithville's a small town, and you live in a smaller town?
I live outside a small hamlet that is outside of Smithville.
That's awesome.
You just live outside.
I refer to it as Stately Murph Manor. It's it's just
Right on.
My wife has family in Smithville.
Yeah, I'd love to know who they are. Maybe I do know them, or maybe are they part of the? You know that the Freedom Convoy still meets every noon hour at the Tim Hortons in Smithville.
Is that right?
Are you shitting me?
I'm totally serious.
I bet.
I saw.
Do you know much about that?
I saw Buddy coming by in a big Tacoma pickup truck,
Awesome.
all flat back with this massive Canadian flag out the back. I was
Awesome.
like, wow, retro 2020, cool.
But don't you agree that was a beautiful time and a beautiful thing?
Do you know, it sucked. It sucked ass. It was horrible, but
Really?
it was like, I mean, just how inconvenient it was for everybody,
Wow.
and it messed a lot of things up. And
Maybe.
What
but-
did the Freedom Convoy or the COVID thing?
Look, I'm talking more the COVID thing.
Oh, yeah.
See, I knew
of
that's
course,
where
of
he
course.
was going.
Yeah, that's
the
yeah.
freedom. That's their choice. See, they want to do that.
Totally.
Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
Great for you, super. But where I live, they took it to another level. We just had a guy who was on our town council, and who was in my ward, and he, while running for election again, was suing the township because they had said he'd broken some of the rules of when you go on to become a councillor or something. Anyway, he was the lead guy for the Niagara contingent that went to Ottawa.
Okay.
He just got charged like a couple of weeks ago. Niagara Regional Police sent out an arrest warrant for him. So he
From that?
I don't know all the details. I was just like, well, he's no longer my counselor. So
Wow.
Whoa.
but yeah, you know who it is? Yeah. Yeah. His name is Harold Yonkers, and he owns a trucking company, and he has run for federally and provincially for the CHP. Have you ever heard of the CHP?
California Highway Patrol?
You wish. The Christian Heritage Party.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
I see.
Imagine how the Islamic Heritage Party would be received. It's like,
Yeah, interesting.
I'm one of these people. Church and state separate. Like you
Yeah.
got your thing. You have a belief system. That's yours. Rock on. Don't bring it into the governance of my society, please. But down there, they like to mix them up.
Yeah. It
Good.
gets pretty hardcore when you mix things up like
Yeah,
that, I guess.
We even have the historically youngest MPP in our writing.
Really?
Yeah. Young guy named Sam Oosterhoff.
Sam Ooster.
how
Shout out to
old?
Sam.
He became our MPP probably when he was about 19 or 20.
Oh, wow.
Still living in mom and dad's basement.
Ambitious young man.
Yeah. Anyway, we didn't come here to talk about those knuckleheads.
No,
No, we
whatever.
didn't.
So, like I said earlier, I because of my genetic heritage, Irish,
Oh, speaking of that.
I will.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I will go off on tangents and storytelling, and so you guys pull me back.
That's okay. We've only got 7 hours.
That's all right. That's good. The car's cooling down.
No, we're good, man.
Yeah.
Speaking of Irish,
Yeah. Oh,
how about a good shot of Kentucky bourbon whiskey?
Right now, we're going now so that we can go again.
Yes, that's the theme of the show.
I love that.
Yeah, you ready?
I love that.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So
Oh, I know this one.
You were born in Ireland?
Yeah, born and raised in Dublin.
You good with this?
I'm very good with Woodford Reserve. Yes.
I like this
Yeah.
stuff.
Shout out to Woodford if they want to sponsor going again.
If I can,
be awesome.
I can share with you something that would be a distant cousin to this in an Irish whiskey. Like you know, most Irish whiskeys are kind of spice
For
forward.
D.
Okay.
There's one that is aged in sherry casks and in bourbon barrels, and it is called Glendalough.
Glendalough.
Yep, drinks like it's $100 a bottle.
Yeah, let me write
half the
that
price.
down. Do you know how to spell
Yeah,
that?
Glen, Glendalough.
L-O-U-G-H.
Yeah.
Oh, Glendalough.
It's basically Lake of the Glen, but it is it's a beautiful area south of Dublin in the Wicklow Mountains. Beautiful lakes.
Here you are, sir.
Oh my gosh.
Any place that makes whiskey is a beautiful place.
Yes. The only problem is they don't offer tours. I was just over there and I really wanted to go for a tour.
Interesting.
So you know what we say in Ireland? Sláinte.
Sláinte?
Means to your health.
Sláinte.
Yeah, sláinte.
Sláinte.
To your health.
Sláinte. All right. Sláinte D.
And
Sláinte, G.
basically, yeah, D. Did D get one?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. She doesn't always partake in the drink, not until later in the evening, but today, special day.
Oh, that's so yum.
Yeah, it's tasty.
That's really yum. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're born and raised in Dublin.
Yeah. Yeah.
At what time? Was it a bad time?
No, it just it was the mid '60s, and my parents applied to emigrate to Canada, the U.S., and Australia. And to show how different the time was, from when they applied to when we arrived here, Canada was the first place and basically the only place that said, "Yeah, come on." And we had a sponsorship from my mom's brother. We were here 6 weeks later.
Wow.
Yeah, different times. And my dad had a job. He had a job waiting for him. And then when we got there, my uncle said, "Where's his job?" And he said, "It's a place called Labrador City." My uncle got out the atlas and said, "It's right here." This is like October 30th.
Uh-oh.
And my uncle said, "If you go there for that job, you'll be back in Dublin by Christmas." He said,
Iceberg City, man.
"Oh, yeah, that'd be very cold."
Oh, I
Very
see.
cold. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's up in northern Labrador.
So what prompted
Ooh.
your parents to leave Ireland?
Oh my gosh, there's so many different theories and stuff. Like when I was younger, I was told it was that the doctor said my dad should get to a drier climate. He was dealing with
Labrador City
Yes.
would have done it, huh?
well, Canada. You know, they don't realize how big Canada is, and anyway. But as it turns out, it really was more my dad wanted to get his wife and family away from her family because she had such a tight relationship with them.
Oh, interesting.
I still have a beautiful and really tight relationship with all my aunts and uncles on my mom's side, and my cousins. They're more like brothers and sisters.
And they're all living over there.
They all live over there, and they're all great. They're like awesome people.
And your father wanted to get her away
I think
from
he
that.
he had issues of his own, and
Okay,
so,
okay.
you know, which I found out more about when I did my my little film. So
Oh, we're going to
you
talk
know,
about
yeah,
that.
we can get into that for sure. Anyway, so that's we came over in I was in 1965.
Wow.
I remember coming from the airport, driving along the 401, and there was nothing north of the 401 except at Yonge Street, and it went up to Shepherd. That was the top of the city.
Wow.
The,
Can you imagine?
Wow.
the 404 didn't exist.
Oh,
you know?
my.
Oh, yeah, none of that stuff.
No, it was-
I
yeah.
think the 401 was a 4-lane highway.
Yeah, and it was a big highway.
So
yeah.
how old
Yeah.
were you at the time then?
I was about 8.5, 9.
Okay.
You know? Yeah, so
And I assume you go back.
I've been
go
back.
back and you see your
yeah,
cousins.
yeah. First time I went back, I had my uncle Kevin said, "Don't go back when you're under drinking age, because you'll just want to go out drinking." You know, if you're like 18, 19. So I went up.
He's
first
a
time I
good
went-
man, that Uncle Kevin.
Uncle Kevin was a very good man. Yeah, yeah. That was my mom's brother. Anyway, I went back when I was 20, and what was great when I hooked up with my cousins, that the conversations picked up right where we left off.
Wow.
You know, that kind of friendship. you know.
Amazing.
Yeah, they're like I said, they're like my brothers. So
No, that's wonderful to have family like that. That's,
yeah, it's really good. And now I see with my kids, their relationships with their cousins, they're more like siblings. So
wonderful.
it is passed on through another generation.
Right on.
Yeah, so it's good. So
He's
yeah,
like that with his cousins.
It's good.
Yeah, we got a good family, good and tight like that.
And the thing is as you go on, if you decide that you're going to start a family and you have kids and your cousins have kids, their cousins, like, just keep it going, because
Yeah.
Because when the shit hits the fan, it's amazing how many people disappear, but you're stuck with family. So
Totally. Speaking of
That's
that,
very true.
Speaking of that, I was on a show the other day, stunting, for Jamie Jones, and I met young Bridget.
you met Bridget?
I met your daughter.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I got talking to a Steadicam op that I know, and
Who was that? The one where she was with Dino?
yeah,
Yeah, she told me, because she said Dino says hi. Like, when she goes on to a show, all I get is highs, hi from all these people. I say, hey, tell them I'm not retired. Yes, I've hung up the Steadicam, but I still am actually a really freaking good operator.
Okay, so I want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to him, and,
Yeah.
and he mentioned the podcast, and I said, "Hey, man, Thursday I got Keith coming," and
Yeah.
he goes, "Really? That's his kid."
Yeah.
So
that's awesome.
I walked over and I
yeah.
said, "Excuse me, Bridget, may I meet you?" And she said to me, "He didn't tell me that." And I said, "Yeah, he's going to come to my house and we're going to drink whiskey."
Yeah.
So how long she been doing it?
She got out of school.
It's her desire to follow your footsteps.
It's really weird. You know what? She started like me with picking up a camera when she was about 8 or 9 years of age and just goofing around. And we saw, okay, she has a love for this. So every couple of years, Santa would bring an upgraded version of a new camera.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And then when she was in high school, she and her girlfriend, Alicia, whose father is Walt Biljan of Red Lab. There's a guy you should.
Jesus.
Yeah. Walt is a good guy, really smart, and really, he'd be a good chat, because he
That's a
he
big
works
deal.
with tons of cinematographers and directors and producers. But Walt's daughter and my daughter were the team at Blessed Trinity High School in Grimsby. For any time the school needed a video made or a promotional thing, the girls did it.
Oh, wicked.
And then she went to Niagara College and studied film, and then came out and got into the 667 trainee program for second assistants. And one of the things that I did was just said, listen, I'll tell you what you're going to do, but I'm hands off. I said, and you cannot, and I talked to the union and said, look, do not put her on the same show as me when she's a trainee, because it will not be fair to anybody. It won't be fair to her, wouldn't be fair to me, wouldn't be fair to the other assistants who are training her. If I'm their camera operator boss.
Totally.
And so we never did work until one time I got called out onto what was the show? Anyway, she was a trainee and I was the third camera, and Private Eyes.
Okay.
Private Eye, whatever it was.
Private Eyes, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there on my camera, we're about to slate, and all of a sudden there's my little daughter, and she's slating, and I'm like, oh, that's so neat. and then my camera gets slated, and I'm just looking at her like this, and action. Oh shit! Oh. But then since then she has worked out on shows with me and me with her.
Amazing.
And, it's
Amazing.
great.
I work with my dad. I love it.
What do you call him? Do you call him Dad? Do you call him Randy?
Actually, there's a story. I remember one time he said to me, you don't got to call me Dad on set. You could just call me Randy. And I said, okay, well, I will do that as long as you stop calling me baby or honey. I think it was honey. And he, okay.
Yeah.
So I've got this full-grown stunt man running around. I'm calling him honey.
Honey, yeah, that goes over well with the boys and girls.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Well, that's it with Bridget. She will call me Pop, or she will call me Dad. Like if she's trying to really get my attention, it's Keith. And if
That's the same.
And if I don't respond to that, all of a sudden I hear Dad. Oh, yes.
Yeah, mine's kind of similar. If it's on like a personal sort of space basis or something, it's Dad all day long. But But yeah, I'll shout at him across the room as Randy or whatever.
Well, in a professional setting, he refers to me as Randy, and he talks to me as Randy.
Yeah, and that's just the
Even
easiest.
here on the podcast,
Yeah.
sometimes it's Randy. So
Well, it's interesting. Years ago, when my mom, before she retired, my mom was she had been a runway model. She'd done some acting and all this, but she when
you
she
introduced me to your mom.
I would love to. You'd love to meet her. She was a very sweet lady, but she worked as a background performer.
Okay.
And if I was on shows with, the DP director, this is back when we used to do all those crazy, remember the movies of the week where you just crank them out every 4 weeks?
100%.
And so if I knew I was going in with some ADs that I knew, and I would just say, hey, my mom, can we bring her out, when we're doing the big restaurant scene? Absolutely, And then the directors would say, oh, that's your mom? But sometimes, how the camera operator, you have to speak with background people, just to give them a little direction, left, right, or whatever. I struggled. I didn't know what to say to her. Call her mom or call her Eileen. And it was just like, hey, lady.
Move to your left.
Yeah. No, it was always, that was a real privilege to be able to say that I've worked not only with my mom, but my daughter.
That's cool, man.
And
Now your son?
And my son Connor is in our film. Our son Patrick.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about him.
Yeah.
Let's get to that later because there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Things are good. Like things are really good. When I look overall, for some reason it seems to have worked out.
It's a dream. I work with all three of my kids.
Isn't it awesome?
Kristen's an incredible stunt performer and driver, and she works for me all the time. My youngest daughter's an art director. And
really?
Yeah, she lives in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica.
Oh. And she's doing a movie right now in North Bay. She's coming home tomorrow for 2 days and then goes back to do another movie and then flies home to Costa Rica. That girl's living the dream.
Oh, man, yeah.
But she's also a stunt performer, and I adore
What's her name?
Randy Lee Butcher.
I'm sure that
You probably run into her at some point.
Yeah, this is the thing that I run into. Like when I used to do Steadicam dailies when I first started out, it was back in a time when there was not a lot of Steadicam people. So the Steadicam coming out was a specialty. And so you have a crew of 50 people. Well, they knew the Steadicam was coming out. Oh, Keith is here. And they'd all say, hi, Keith. Hi, Keith. I'm trying to remember 50 names from a show.
Oh, 100%. It's so hard.
Yeah. And
I imagine you met Kristen.
I'm sure
She was on Orphan.
I never did Orphan.
Yeah, you didn't do Orphan?
No.
I would imagine that you've run into her at some point.
I'm sure she.
That's where we play IMDb bingo.
Yeah, true.
Thank God for IMDb.
True.
Yeah.
Everybody, look me up. IMDb Randy Butcher. Change my numbers.
Yeah, I am Keith Murphy. Bracket 1. Bracket.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
true.
I am 1. I am number 1. Yeah, it's amazing. Like you must have, like myself, just a litany of credits.
I do.
Like
His are obscene.
And they're not even all on there.
And exactly. And people say, "Wow, look at this." You know what it means? What? I'm old.
You know what it
I mean,
means?
you have some
I've done a lot of work in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. You have incredible credits on there.
Well, thanks.
You've done a lot of major pictures, man.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. Made a lot of great friends. Like I have some friends that are now like DPs, directors that are, they're kind of retired now, but they're like talented people. And I learned so much from all of them and all the different crew members that I work with that I'm just like a sponge,
Big time.
So because what I learned at Conestoga College.
So no, there's no retirement in your future, right?
No. I mean, I hung up the Steadicam and people said, "Oh, you're done." It's like, well, no, but
it's an incredibly physical activity.
I did it for 35 years, and I stopped because I always said when it stops being fun, I don't want to do it anymore, and it's stopped being fun.
What's the name of your production company?
Backstraight Productions.
No kidding. Does that have anything to do with Steadicam?
Absolutely zero.
Really?
It comes from
Because all I can think of is you holding that sucker.
I know. It ended up being like this just the way it was. But Backstraight Productions comes from my favorite track to film car racing at is Mosport.
Yeah.
Also known as Canadian Tire Motorsport Park now.
Yeah.
But to guys of my vintage, we still refer to it as Mosport.
Yeah.
And the back straightaway, the Mario Andretti straightaway, is this scream and climb up a hill. And I mean, I've seen cars catch air at the top.
I know the back.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's my company was going to either be Back Straight Productions or Chicane Productions because of my love of car racing. Wow. And I went with Back Straight.
Wow. Okay, well that's cool.
Yeah,
I'm directing a car commercial at Mossport on July 13th.
Need a camera guy?
Maybe.
I'm good at shooting cars.
Just a second.
Do you shoot many commercials?
I have done over the years, mostly when I was doing Steadicam. Now, I have a hello for you guys. This is the tie-in.
Oh, there's a tie.
From doing commercials.
Oh.
A lovely person who's one of my favorite people in the world.
I have a feeling I know who you're saying.
Yeah, she's one of ours too.
Yeah.
And we were going to bring her up. Don't worry.
You're talking about Kellyanne.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, man. I told her I was doing this, and she just went, wow.
Oh,
She said, "Say hi, please." Say hi.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's super sweet.
She's amazing. She's an incredible producer, like one of the best.
She's pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I've known her to do some good stuff.
Yeah, once in a while, she treats her people. She treats her people like gold, and that's why people love working with her.
100%.
But she was the producer on our short film Liam and May.
Yeah.
And I mean, couldn't have done it without her. Could not have done it without her. So, but yeah, Kellyanne.
Shout out to Kellyanne.
I've you know what? You should get her on here.
Oh, we should have her on here.
She would be great.
She'd be amazing to have on
because
here.
especially her background is in the commercial world. That's where I get a lot. If she all of a sudden she has a commercial where they need another operator. Like over the years, she had lots of Steadicam. I got you booked for Steadicam. Okay, and I remember the first.
That's nice.
I remember the first time doing a commercial for her. I was so nervous. I had no problem. I was capable, but because I was doing it for my little sister, and I did not want to fuck up.
And he was looking at her through the viewfinder, going, "Oh, yeah, action."
Yeah. And she's really good.
Oh, for sure.
But that's my commercials. And mostly, now if she calls and said, "Hey, I've got a B camera on a commercial," usually she books me like tentative. Oh, it's gone away.
Yeah, that happens.
That happens in commercials.
Again, that's nice being able to work with your family and stuff like that.
Dude,
it's great.
It truly is. It's like I see there's a lot. This is the one thing that I love about our industry. There's a lot of multi-generational families. I mean, you and I, we can go back and look at the Good Childs, for example. Like 4 generations, maybe coming up on 5 generations soon. Wow. Amazing. And like there's some people that started out shooting up in Kleinburg, doing the old black and white TV shows up there.
Right.
And they are great grandparents of some people who are in the industry now, young people.
I've only ever shot color at Kleinburg, but thank you for that.
I was up there recently on.
Is there still a studio there?
Yeah, they've actually cleaned it up and made it quite nice.
No kidding.
And we were shooting. I can't remember the show. It was just a dailies, some second unit stuff, and we were shooting out in the field. And it was like I was talking to some of the young, technicians, and I said, "Do you know the history of this place?" Nope. There's great history there.
I find that interesting about every department nowadays. The young people, the majority of them have no idea the history of what they're doing, like the film industry that they're working in.
Yeah.
And
half the people I work with have never worked with film.
Yeah, is this true?
True.
And you know what? There's a great thing about film that those of us who worked with film know immediately.
That you have 7 minutes to smoke while they load the camera?
No. When you open up a fresh can of film, and you take it out of the bag, you're in the dark room doing this.
You can hear the ocean.
No.
Isn't that, no?
It's just a lake.
Where the hell did that come from?
I have no idea. That's really good, though. What it is the aroma of fresh film. There's nothing else that I've ever smelled that smells. It's a chemical smell, but it has a sweetness to it.
I was going to say, it's a sweet smell.
And it's really wild. And if you take a piece of unexposed film and you do this on the emulsion side, all of a sudden the acids in your mouth start to change the color of the emulsion. It goes from a dark tan to a light tan.
Well, what happens to your mouth at that point?
You die. You die
roll
within a
over,
day
you die.
or two.
I don't know. This is stupid shit that we like. Do we want to talk about the stupid stuff?
Keith's in a truck with his hands in a black bag going,
Yeah. You know what always used to happen for me when like I was an assistant for a very, very short time because I sucked badly at it. I just had no interest in it. But every time I go into the dark room to change film, because all of a sudden you're losing the sense of light and it's all by touch, I gotta go to the can. Like, where's that film? I gotta go pee first. No, load the film. I don't think that's a good idea. So
What?
You just wanted to avoid it.
No, it was a thing like you know when you're on set, and especially if you're a trainee or a second, you have no time. You're just everything is go 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 go.
Okay.
To get time to go pee, you know, even as an operator, like I worked with a friend of mine. I hadn't seen John Brown. He's an excellent gaffer, head electrician, and JB. We hadn't seen each other in ages, and now we're doing a show. We're on I think season 2 of Coroner, and the way I work the show when I work as an A camera operator, I'm on the floor all the time. And he comes up to me and goes, "So what's it like to never go and have a pee?" And he's an old friend, and I went, "Oh, you noticed?" He goes, "You never leave the floor." I said, "I'm not interested in working beyond 10 hours." I said, "If I can do anything that saves 5 minutes an hour in a day,
Yeah.
you know," I said, "Look, keep the motor going, you know." And I said, and that's why they pay me to. One of the things I think that they pay me to do is help turn that wheel, you know.
And now you have bladder issues, I'm sure.
Yeah, I gotta go pee. So it going back to Kellyanne, she, you know, her hello to you is quite heartfelt from her.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you
no,
so
that's
much.
super
I
sweet.
love her.
Yeah.
It's been a while
Yeah.
with the advertisers locking ACTRA out and blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
You know, a few big companies are still shooting ACTRA, but most of them are not. So we're missing out on I get called 2 or 3 times a week by producers that I know
Yeah.
asking for non-union things, and
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
do you know, honestly, I'm in the midst of reading a book about the labor strike that happened in Dublin in 1913, led by a guy named Larkin, and this was huge. There were like 20,000 laborers that walked off just because they wanted to organize, and that fight still goes on today. Like I look at it and go, why aren't commercials organized? Why? They used to be.
Well, they are. Most advertisers at the agencies adhere to ACTRA.
Yeah.
But there's a few issues in that they're fighting it, and
Yeah.
it's been almost over a year now.
Yeah, and in my opinion, it doesn't appear that the fight is going well.
It's not.
Right.
It's not, because there's nobody stepping up, and the people acquiesce. They go, okay. Yeah,
There's a
okay."
lot of that. That
Yeah.
is a wave of,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Anyway, I'm a firm believer in this. People who are working hard should get paid well and get everything they
Absolutely.
deserved. You know, it's like people say, "Oh, look, that athlete is getting that much money." Oh, well, first of all, it's not your money, so who gives a shit? You know?
Yeah, Andrew came to me one time from high school. His teacher had told him that Arnold Schwarzenegger was not worth $20 million and that it should be distributed evenly throughout the entire film. So when I went to speak to Andrew's teacher, I asked him how long he had been a communist. And he was offended. And I said, I believe in the capitalist system.
Yeah.
And I believe that one should be paid commensurate with the demand of one's position.
Yeah.
And the reason brain surgeons get paid what they do is because there are so few. And the reason teachers get paid what they do is because there's so many. And the reason Arnold Schwarzenegger gets paid $20 million is because there's just one.
Yeah.
So if he's putting the bums in the seats,
It's exactly it. And
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is what it is.
Yeah, I look at it. It's like, get what you can get. Maximize the amount that you can attain. You know.
understand your
Yeah.
value
Yeah.
and then negotiate for it.
Yes.
But you have to give that value
Yeah.
for what you're receiving.
Now, have you guys watched FUBAR?
No.
No, not yet.
I
No.
just started, and I've watched. I think I'm 3 episodes in.
Were you on that show at all?
No. When that was going down, I can't remember. This often happens because our collective pool of when people are working, you kind of work in the same circles.
Sure.
And so the folks that were doing that were in a more of a distant circle while I was busy doing whatever I was doing. I'd have to go back and look, and
That makes sense.
I could have
Yeah.
easily be working on my garden, planting my hot peppers, you know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're going to
talk about that too.
But it, you know, I watched the show, and I think they did a fantastic job of what it is, for basically a TV series on Netflix. And I judge, like, if I'm watching a show by myself and I burst out laughing at something, I'll go, okay, this is good. You know, there's shows that are supposedly funny where I sit there and go, I don't get it. You know, maybe I have a.
Now, is it a comedy?
It
or
is.
is it an action?
It's like an action dramedy. You know, like there's drama.
Oh, just a second. Is this that Arnold Schwarzenegger thing?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
FUBAR. FUBAR, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure of the title.
Yeah, you know FUBAR means.
Yes.
Yeah. So and it's appropriate because and some of the stuff that goes on is very, very funny. Now the supporting cast around him are excellent, and so that it just makes it so good. And he is quintessential Arnold.
Right.
You know, even though
Why have him in it otherwise?
yeah, it's like you're playing a character, but you're still Arnold. You know, and good fun.
I believe that sorry, go ahead.
I
Keep
was going
going.
to say that when they were here filming it, apparently he was an absolute dream to work with.
That's
Yeah,
my
I've heard
understanding.
that. I've
Like
heard
people
that.
just saying,
It's great.
yeah, what a nice person, and, you know.
Yeah, and you know what I think? There's a misconception too that just because somebody has lots of money that they abuse that situation or something.
Yeah.
When if you don't know this person
Yeah.
personally,
Yeah.
how can you possibly have such an assumption that they're not helping people all over the place, that they're not building up their community or doing anything?
You know, I worked with a guy on a it was a horrible film, but he was amazing. We did it in Winnipeg. Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, baby.
What a sweetheart.
Yeah.
Like just
another guy
down to earth.
Rumored to be amazing.
Yeah, I've worked
Yeah.
with him, and
Yeah,
he
he's
is.
just a guy. He's just a down to earth guy, you know, and fun, knows his stuff, knows his craft, and knows the type of character that when he's dealing with guns and stuff like this, like when you watch him work with these guns,
He trains like crazy.
I'm like, whoa. But just a super guy. Like one time sitting off camera, delivering off camera lines next to me, we had this little chat. And I said to him, hey, I got this script. Would you be interested in having a read? Yeah, give it to me for the weekend. He comes back on the Monday and he goes, yeah, that's a great script. He says, I don't know. I may be a little too old for the lead character. And I was like, oh, I said, Keanu, I said, I don't mean any disrespect. I said, I was showing it to you as a filmmaker. I said, I think you're an incredible filmmaker as well as an incredible action actor. But I was showing it to you as a filmmaker. What did you think of it as a script? He goes, oh, yeah. He said, it's good. And I said, well, let me ask you a quick question. I said, how's your Irish accent? And he said, it isn't. I said, yeah. I said, unfortunately, I said, it requires.
Was this for Liam? And
This is for Liam and May, yeah.
Right.
And the guy we ended up casting.
no.
It's great.
Yeah.
great.
Full disclosure.
Yes.
Andrew and I both watched your film this morning.
Oh, come on. And
Yeah.
what's the?
Oh no,
what-
no. We're going to talk about it later.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we'll talk about it in a bit, but it's great. And you're and at the same time, your kid has a great voice.
Yeah, is that him?
That's Connor. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going
that's-
to talk about it now.
He.
Well, okay,
yeah,
fine.
He.
Let's do it.
He did all the music.
Yeah, we read the credits.
Yeah, he
We're
did
credit
and composed.
readers.
He wrote all the music. That opening song is his original lyrics and that's a different composition of it.
Yes.
He created there's a song in the office scene just when the character Liam is getting emotional about not having the English back in Ireland during World War II. And then he did the closing credits song is an old Irish song called Carrickfergus that my favorite rendition of it used to be by Brian Ferry of Roxy Music. Just like stunning. And then Connor did his version of it, and it'll bring me to tears. And I've heard it 100 times.
Oh, I love it.
It is stunning. But yeah, that's him singing.
Well, we were both incredibly impressed.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's in touch with his island heritage.
He is, yeah. And he is now part of, this is the amazing part, he's over in England right now touring. And he'll be back in about, I think, 2 weeks or so. He is part of, do you ever hear of there's a group years ago called the Irish Tenors?
Yes.
They all got old, they retired. The producers formed a new group called Trinity. And Connor is the tenor in this. And there's two other guys that are just, they are awesome together. And they are having so much fun touring.
Trinity.
Yeah. And it's called Trinity, classically Irish. So they do all the traditional Irish songs. Like Connor as the tenor, his signature for, so sing for your dinner, type of thing that people like him, they get, oh, can you sing for us? He does his version of Danny Boy, make you cry. This voice of his is just phenomenal.
Really?
And my mom, she passed in February of this year, and then we had at the funeral, he sang Ave Maria. I've never seen somebody or heard anybody sing it this way. He internalized this and made it so soft and so gentle with his beautiful voice that I was like, holy crap.
Wow.
But I think he it was very emotional for him, so because his grandmother.
Sure.
But he says, I don't think I want to sing it anymore. Family week.
Yeah.
And I said,
Wow.
I get it.
He just wants to crack an Irish whiskey and go.
He's not a drinker.
Okay.
He'll sip a beer every once in a while.
Okay.
So I make up for.
I thought I'd like this kid.
I make up for everybody else.
That's good.
But yeah, he's really talented. It was great to have him on that. And you met Bridget. Bridget had a little cameo in the film, and we had in some of the after party where they're at. There is my oldest son Patrick, his wife Aniko is the young lady there, and the guy who plays the stage manager, Jimmy, that's Aniko's dad, my friend Peter.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, it was cast really quite nicely.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, it was
everything.
good.
It looks amazing.
Well,
It's beautifully shot.
I got some great advice from a director who said to me, treat your casting like a day of principal photography. And he said, it's so important. And it was like, whoa.
Can you explain that?
yeah, I was going to ask for the same thing.
Yeah, well, if you're shooting, you're not main unit, principal photography. It's a very important day. You have to get your day. You're doing the thing. You're creating your story. You're capturing it on whether it's film or on digital. It doesn't matter. It just you're doing it. You're actually shooting your film. And this guy said, treat your day of casting or days of casting as if they are days of
Equally as
photography.
important.
So yeah, is equally as important.
Oh,
as,
I
yeah.
see. Sure.
And it was brilliant advice. And I mean, because I was looking at, there was a guy came in and it was like, this guy, he's got a good look. And at times, like I brought him in 2 or 3 times and each time there was something that just wasn't right. And I was like, Then this other guy came in, James Acton. And James I said, I need you to, and he's from London originally. And I said, dude, I need you to kind of give me some kind of Irish accent. It doesn't have to be Dublin. It could be the north-ish sort of thing. And he was great. And so we cast him. Then for the casting of the role of May, a phenomenal woman by the name of Leanne Noel Smith, who's just moved her career down to LA, and which I hope she just skyrockets. I really do, because I think she's brilliant. She came in and she actually dressed the part, kind of dressed the part for the casting. Had her hair done up in a 30s style and had a bit of a thing. And she had a look. Now, we had casting, we had some people who showed up, this absolutely drop dead, beautiful blonde woman. And she starts to read, and she has thick Russian accent. I'm going,
Whoops.
can you, this is set in Dublin? Oh, no problem. I can do Dublin accent. I said, great. Can I hear it? Okay, here it is. Oh my gosh. Hey, thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it.
Well, it was of a Russian woman living in Dublin.
Oh man. Anyway, So when we cast Leanne, I said to her, I said, can you sing? She laughs. She goes, no problem. So what we did was we did a recording session with Connor and his vocal coach from University of Toronto. That's where he studied opera as a tenor. And his vocal coach was a fantastic woman by the name of Elizabeth McDonald. And his piano coach, Joe, what the heck is Joe's? I can't remember her last name. They came out and we recorded in this beautiful church on Bloor West. Just the acoustics were great. And the producer of the recording was a very dear friend, a retired radio producer from CBC by the name of a dear friend named Todd Faraci. And Todd, he recorded everything so beautifully. The sound was amazing. But I invited Leanne to come to the recording because I said, you need to see what you have to learn to lip sync to. Right. And she was like, lip sync? I said, you got to learn to lip sync to Italian opera.
I wondered if that was her when I was watching. I was like, damn.
No, it was not Leanne, and she has many, many talents. Singing is not one of them. So, and she did a really great job of lip syncing to Italian. But to be honest, in the edit, we had a lot of cutting around to do where things didn't, know, jive and line up properly, which is, it's fine. I don't mind. But when we were there in this church when we were recording, I'm sitting over on one side and Leanne's over there, and I'm watching her and I'm looking just as they're singing and doing their thing, and her eyes are just getting like, whoa, like what have I got myself into? But she was great. And then we, in casting other roles, we had people that could do a version of an Irish accent, and we had one lovely young lady who was actually from Dublin, and so Nave was her name, and she's doing really well. It's great when you see people do it. Our camera operator, Sarah Mulholland, this was her first time, I think her first time operating on anything, and she has now, her career has
really,
and she's she is the top female Steadicam operator in Canada right now.
Really?
And
wow.
She's great. She's like, she took.
It was really good stuff.
Yeah. Now, I did a little bit of operating on it, but I didn't want to. And people said, "Oh, did you DP it?" I said, "No, I didn't want to DP."
I noticed your name wasn't under it.
No, I could have, but I didn't.
Who shot the Irish stuff at the beginning? The montage. You did.
Went over there with
your drone,
with a little drone, and my son, my son Patrick, and we had 10 days of absolute just blast. We had so much fun. But our cinematographer for everything was Sarah Thomas Moffat, and Sarah was incredible. She took on a job, and because I said to her, I said, "You really want to DP on a job that I know I could DP?" Yep. And she did a great job.
Thanks balls, buddy.
Her idea is like, I'd say, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to shoot it. And then what she did, well, she won on the very first festival that we went into, our awards competition we went into. She won Best Cinematography, and Connor won Best Music Composition. And then Connor received many nominations along the way for his work, but never won. But Sarah, in our final film festival was in Scotland, the Scotland International Festival of Cinema, in this beautiful little town of Peebles, Scotland, right on the Tweed River. Oh, it was like, I could move here if I had a load of money. But it was great, and she became the belle of the ball because being in Scotland, a couple of times we had a piper pipe us into the cinema, and when he's up there on the stage and he's playing, and Sarah starts twitching, and I was like, what's going on? She goes, well, her family's from Scotland. And she goes, I did Highland dancing from when I was a tiny little one.
Oh, no.
All
She
the way
wants to
right
perform.
into
She wants to go, yeah.
And I'm like, well, and then the father of one of the women who was running the festival was sitting, he says, get up, go. She hops over the seats in the theater, and she gets down on the stage, and she starts Highland dancing with it.
Really?
People are freaking out. Cut to a day or two later, we're having the final party, the wrap party for the festival, and we get piped into this hall. And Sarah, again, she's out there, and down comes the warrior hair, and she starts doing the thing. People were freaking out. They loved it. They could not believe that this is one of the filmmakers, this is what she's doing.
Incredible.
The next morning at the awards ceremony, she wins Best Cinematography Award. Wow. I said, this is going to be a huge stepping stone for her career because, like I said, she was the belle of the ball.
Well, how wonderful for her.
Yeah, I'm so happy for her. And she's gone on and done a variety of really, really good things, you know, and I think she's going to continue to become a really top cinematographer. So when I go to my next film, I don't know if she'll be available. So
Maybe she'll make herself available.
that'd be really cool.
You know.
That'd be really, because she's a very dear friend now.
Yeah,
you know, she's a dear friend of Kellyanne's as well.
Yeah,
so,
that's fabulous.
And Kellyanne, we talked about Kellyanne. Kellyanne was my producer on that, and it just worked out phenomenal. Like if I do anything again where I have a choice in the producer, it's Kellyanne, hands down. You know, and if I'm invited to go somewhere as a producer, Kellyanne comes with me. We're a producing team. You know.
Yeah, because you're going to
that
make your
makes
little
sense.
sister do all the work.
No,
That's what I would do.
Exactly. No, man, lean on her talents.
Yeah,
man.
no, of
Yeah,
course, 100%.
Yeah.
So now that we're talking about Liam and May, where did this come from? Is there a family biography here? Like the Murphys are in the movie. Come on, let's.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
first
does
of
this
all,
work out?
Murphy is the Irish Smith.
Okay,
yeah.
but you could
I
have
kinda
picked the
felt that. Yeah.
You could have
here's-
picked the Jones.
Yes, this is true, but they're busy doing stunts.
True enough.
It's a story that I had in my mind probably for 20 years, based on family stories that I heard, like the end of the film where the character of Connor, the young guy, the warrior of Liam, who missed the performance, who's absolutely got a snootful in him, he's boiled,
Yeah.
and he gets called, you know,
A spoiler alert,
Yeah.
people.
yeah. Anyway, that really happened in real life,
Okay.
where my grandfather showed up at an after party and dropped somebody because they called him Mr. Devitt.
Really?
This guy's a warrior.
Yeah.
Like this guy fought like the character, and in real life, my grandfather fought in the Easter Rising of 1916, went to jail, then fought in the War of Independence against the English in 1919 to 1920. And out of that, because of the treaty that was signed, divided the country, there was a civil war, and he fought in that. So this guy saw a lot of family and friends killed in war. And back then, there was no mention of PTSD or anything like that.
Sure.
So you buried your pain in the bottom of a whiskey bottle. And he became a full-blown alcoholic. And I mean, that's a whole other story on I've just been recently contacted by the I think they're called the Irish Opera Society. They did a whole thing on May Devitt, my grandmother. And I said, oh, here's a link to the film. And the guy he contacted me and goes, my God. He said, I'm so excited. This came out of left field. And can I put a link of the film? You know, and I'm going to be responding to him either today or tomorrow and saying, yeah, go ahead. And then he asked me about all these other questions and personal questions. It's like, now there's stories that your grandmother back in the day had affairs. And she did. She was definitely very much a bohemian lifestyle and probably would have fared much better off in the 70s and the 80s. You know.
So the lady in the movie portrayed your grandmother.
Yeah.
So was she pregnant?
Yeah.
And by whom?
That's
Yeah,
the
this was-
question.
yeah,
See,
this
and
is-
we had this chat this morning.
Yeah.
Andrew brought it up.
Yeah, that's a great observation because that's a subtle subtext that a lot of people miss.
Well, that's the good
We're
stuff.
filmmakers.
That's
We
the-
don't
I
miss
know,
shit.
I love it because you know what? There's some people I've had to explain it to.
Yeah.
Like like when she's in her dressing room and she reaches over the flowers that are there, those roses are not from Liam. Who are they from? Are they from the young guy?
From her fellow
From
mate.
the young guy Rory?
These are questions we're asking.
I don't know. Maybe when it turns into a nice
we
mini,
have to wait for the sequel.
or a nice mini series, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, one of the things Kellyanne and myself would really love to do is take it to the next step. Like this was essentially a proof of concept that was motivated by myself wanting to get into the Canadian Film Centre, CFC, into their director's program. And they said, sure, you've got great credits, you've got all this in your background, but you need to make a film to produce this. So I went and spoke with some people that I worked with. Do you know Sud Sutherland?
I do.
And Jen Holness?
Yes.
Add their names. Those people they're excellent.
Yeah, I think I've
Well, I know
actually.
Sud, it'd be cool to have.
Yeah,
him.
I've actually talked to Suds about doing this.
Oh, to me, if Suds and Jen call for a job or help or anything, I drop what I'm doing and I go. They have been so kind to me over the years. And I just adore them as people. Like
They're doing a film right now. I tried to get on as a coordinator. I don't know if I will get that job or not, but
I didn't know they're doing a film.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but no, I did. Sorry, but I've been busy. The last since our mom passed in February. There's been a whole dealing of a whole bunch of stuff, and I just returned from Ireland, week and a half ago, and we brought her ashes home, so we could bury them with her mom and dad.
Aw.
You know, and
Wow.
so it turned out to be quite an adventure. Had a great time. Might have drank a little Guinness.
I have no doubt.
Guinness is good there, man. It's good. But I have not, as of today, I have not really chased after any work yet. I've got other things that I'm dealing with. Like when you have a rural property like I do, this time of year, like through May,
Goes wild.
if you don't start just cutting back, it'll be overgrown in no time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yesterday, I'm covered in Band-Aids from yesterday, just weed whacking trees on about 5 acres of land.
Yeah, I was going to ask you what happened.
Yeah. The trees and branches, you know, digging up stumps, getting out the big Kubota tractor and digging up stumps.
Oh wow.
So tell me about your writing process.
It is, I'm not a writer, and yet I've had writers say, you are a writer. You're actually really good. And it scares the fuck out of me. It's like standing on stage with your fly open and not knowing it. It's just because you're putting everything out there, and immediately it's subject to critique,
Interpretation.
and it's a fear, you know.
It is.
But the process that Kellyanne and I have been looking at is we'd love to take this film or this project. Now, what we have is one day in 1938, just prior to World War II, but the story can go back. Like May started on the stage as a child protege, and Liam, as the family story goes, you know, never went beyond grade school because he took up the gun, as we say in the film. And so to do a story like this, like as a limited miniseries or that kind of thing, would love to take this style and feel of like a Peaky Blinders
Yeah.
and mix it with the style. I mean, it's a total separate show, but the style of time jumping back and forth of This Is Us. You know,
Yeah,
and
you know
it's
it well,
just-
actually.
Yeah,
Okay,
that kind of storytelling. Like you're here and it's 1952, and we're back here in 1921.
Yeah,
and
I like that style. I like that.
You know, and that sort of thing. So that would be one of the things that it would be neat to do. And there's something else that's also another thing in the pot.
That's great.
I have a shopping agreement for a wonderful half-hour. It's a kids show, but it's not a kids show. It's called Simon Says, and the tagline for it is "Anything that can go wrong will." And it's a kid who's probably 12 years old in the mid 60s, 1967, going to Expo, dealing with all the hormones of gorgeous young girls in the class and doing things, and everything goes wrong.
Is it about me?
Yeah.
It's a very, very funny show, and the writer team, Ross and Virginia Monroe, are wonderful, and they are so creative. And so I'm hoping that one of the things that I'm working, like I haven't gone looking for work, is because of working on that, putting together the pitch package.
Yeah, it takes time, doesn't it?
It does. And I also ran into a situation where the guy who was going to be, I thought was going to be working with me, the pitch package, basically shit in my bowl of Rice Krispies. And I was like, okay, you're not working with me. I don't work with people like you. So, so it was one of those things that my integrity was called into question, and I went, I'm sorry, but no, you're
I
wrong.
hear that. Yeah.
You're wrong. This is you are so off base. Anyway, so that was a bit of a setback, but it's like when we were doing Liam and May, we had so many setbacks, and then all of a sudden, whatever the solution was, made the film better. We had a situation where on Liam and May, where my editor that I wanted to do this called me up. We were going to picture on a Monday in June, and he called me up the Thursday before and said, "Hey, listen because I said, hey, when can I drop off the drives at the end of the day and you download them overnight? I'll pick them up before we go shooting the next morning." And he goes, "Yeah." He says, I don't think I can edit your film." Oh. Now, and I know my friend has issues that he was dealing with at the time, and so I wasn't going to press anything, and I just said, okay, no worries, don't worry, it's just a silly little film, not a bother. I phoned Kellyanne, and I went,
Yeah, totally.
and she said, she's so great. Kellyanne said, leave it with me, just for a few, 10, 15 minutes. I'll get back to you. And she called back and said, a friend of mine's, they've got they're just taking over the old NFB facilities down at Richmond and John. And there's two companies, Clark Stanley and Rolling Pictures Inc. And they'll come on board and they'll supply us with offline editing, online editing, color correct, sound mix, anything we need to do, because they're all in-house. And I said, we have no money for that. And she said, no, they'll do it for producer's credit. I said,
wow.
I said, as in Clark Stanley and Rolling Pictures Inc. in association with Backstraight Productions present a Keith Murphy film? She goes, exactly, done.
Yeah, well, no, 100%.
Yeah.
Like,
I actually saw that on the credits at the beginning. And
Yeah.
I just thought that was pretty cool.
We did a
that's wild.
short and went through Rolling Pictures.
Did you? They're
incredible work.
They are, and they're such decent people.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, 100%.
They are. And I mean, I was like, I really want money to go make something else so I can go back to all these people that helped and said, look, I have money now, that kind of thing.
Well, in some regards, they rely on that, and we all rely on.
We
that.
do.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean,
It's sort of how the business is made.
That's why I was out helping Richard Chevallot do his teaser for his film that he was, just because I've worked with this guy and I like the guy, I like the story, I like the script. And I said, yeah, I'll come out on a Sunday. And then we're doing another day a month later. Sure.
We do it all the time.
Fucking A, man. Yeah.
Next time, you want more stunts? Call us.
That's great. You know what? You guys work in a great community. I know that there's different personalities, and some people say, don't talk about that guy around that guy, that kind of thing. But by and large,
yeah, totally.
I mean, I look at the folks that I've worked with, the stunt guys, and what I love the most, there's no cowboys. Everybody is really smart. Everybody is, first and foremost, they want to deliver a great product while being 100% safe.
Big time.
I mean, I've done stuff where I think the last time you and I worked on was the second unit of XXX Return of Xander Kane.
Yeah, what were
we remember we were in
car chase or
the big stuff under the
in Hamilton.
In Hamilton, underneath the overpasses.
Is that when Danny did the flat spin?
Yeah. I'll never forget that. I watched it. He did that live? Fuck.
Yeah.
And I said, that's where I learned the term. I was talking about it. I said, you all right? He goes, oh, yeah, nothing like a little bit of stunt candy will make me feel better.
Yeah, it's Danny. But that particular gag, when he hit the van?
Yeah, like he did the roll and hit the van.
Well, the van is...
The van, yeah.
It's cabled, it's chained to the ground on some steel plates. It won't move. Danny comes up a bit of a ramp, and then he hits it on the passenger side so that it just does a flat spin and lands.
It was amazing.
But I have a video of that, and if you don't watch Danny's car as it flat spins through the air, and you watch the van, somebody left a jelly roll, sound blanket in the van.
No.
And this blue sound blanket,
Just goes.
just go poof poof, and it's as wide as completely comes apart like this, and then drops to the ground.
Never. Now I'm going to have to go back and
I'm going to
look.
show you the video when we're done.
Oh, that's awesome. But that was, I think, our last time. That's when you brought out your beautiful older truck.
Yeah,
That's like, I loved it.
It's gorgeous.
You know? Yeah,
look.
one or two, you know.
Yeah, 1956 everywhere.
Yeah.
All of them.
Oh, and you were very intimidating that day because you had your truck.
Yeah, that's it. I was intimidated.
But yeah, it was. I think that's the last time that we actually were.
I believe that's true.
And that was great because I was that show. I got a call from, actually, here's another person you should try and get in here, Angelo Colavecchia.
Okay.
Yeah, the camera operator, Steadicam operator. He'd be like the top guy. Yeah, he's like very talented and absolute sweet soul, like a really kind person.
Cool.
But over the years, he's been great. If I'm not working, hey, come on out, you know. And so they invited me out to do a few days on the second unit of that. Well,
A little more?
you know,
We're not going anywhere for another 5 hours.
there we go. Jeez. Excellent. Thank you very much. I really wish I brought that weed for you now.
Next time.
Next
Keith, no
time,
worries,
yeah.
man.
But on that show on Triple X, I was brought out to do, you know, a handful of dailies, like D-Cam or whatever. And things went well. So I was, come back as C-Camera. And I was staying with C-Camera and everything. And one day we're shooting in the Hearn, and they came up to me, and I can't remember who it was, said, listen, we're putting together a big second unit, and we're going to be shooting in Hamilton. We know it's kind of a little closer for you. Would you be interested in doing that? And I said, sure, why not? And then they did a stint where they went, I did that, and it was 2 weeks that we were in Hamilton filming that thing, all on.
Forget what the name. Bridgeport.
No, it's
underneath.
It was underneath the
underneath
bridge
the
there, yeah.
bridge.
what's the name? They changed the name of the street. Anyway, it'll come. And we were there for 2 weeks, and it was great, and we had a great. Oh man, some of the stunt, like, I don't know if you remember, but Vin Diesel's character, for the character, they had tons, like 6 or 7 body double stunt guys, and they were just doing face replacement for him.
And we're doing the wire work over the car.
Yeah,
off the bus.
I can remember we were shooting outside of. We were in a like a Dodge Caravan, driving along where the stunt guy, his job was he's going to get hit by the pickup truck or a truck or whatever, and his job is just before he gets hit is to jump, so that it hits him and the force just flips him over. He's going to be bruised, and he had padding on. Poor guy didn't jump soon enough, so his leg got pinned as he got hit.
Oh,
And we're this far away with the camera shooting out of a vehicle in the thing, and like I can't remember who the assistant was with me, but we both just looked at it. Oh my God! They wheeled him out, brought another guy in, just another body double. And it was
Nature of
It's
the
crazy,
stunt
man.
business.
I just looked and I said, that poor guy has just had his knee destroyed. I don't know if they can rebuild it. And years ago, I got asked to do a stunt. When I came to Toronto, and I had just started. I'd gone to Steadicam school down in the States, in Rockport, Maine, and I'd come back, and the girlfriend I had at the time was an aerobics instructor, and she was teaching aerobics and taking aerobics at a place called Body Alive, right in Boytown, in the gay village of Church and Wellesley area, but this was a high-end aerobics studio. I was in my 27, 28 years of age, and I was getting in shape to learn this craft of Steadicam. And there were who was it? Do you remember Lloyd Adams?
Of course.
And what was his wife's name?
Brenda.
Oh, they were great. They moved out west.
Yeah, they're in Vancouver.
He
does Fire Country.
Yeah, and Ted
Hanlon.
And who else was there? TJ was.
TJ Scott.
Yeah, we were all young.
Yeah, man.
And they came to me as a group and said, "Hey, Keith, we got this great stunt gig for you. You're a perfect match for the guy, and you've watched you train. You're in great shape." And I said, oh, yeah, well, what's the thing? Well, the car's going to drive down the alley and you have to roll over the hood of the car. I'm like, what? You'll get paid lots. I said, how much is lots? Oh, you might get like $2,000 or something. And I went, I'm embarking on a career as a Steadicam operator.
You need your legs.
And I said, this will make me the number 5 guy ever doing this in Canada. I'm going to take a pass, boys. Thank you very much.
Wow.
No, you'd be great. It'll be easy. Nothing. I said, yeah. And I said, I get clipped the wrong way because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And I said, and I can't do Steadicam ever. I said, no. I said, I think I made the right choice.
Yeah, well, that was the first time stunt, maybe.
Oh.
That sounds pretty crazy.
Well, that's when we did.
Yeah, a car hits a bit of a.
It's a big thing.
It's a big gig for
It's-
somebody that's never done anything.
Yeah, and like even for me, doing a roll down a set of stairs, I don't think I'd want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's easier.
But still, no thanks. But I think back then to. Do you remember the show Bride of Chucky?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
There was a bad situation happened on that, in a big event, cars leaving a parking lot, and a young guy got clipped, a young stunt guy, and it was one of his earlier on stunts. And in the rehearsals, everything worked, but when the adrenaline gets going for the take, the timing was slightly off. One car hit another car, and it spun it, hit him, and then he got between.
He got his
The majority of the mistakes happen when you go to camera and all of a sudden it's like there's no fucking up allowed. It's
Yeah.
like this
And-
moment.
And in that moment you have the adrenaline of that. Anyway, the young man survived,
Yes.
thankfully, but it was.
Wow.
He lives in Japan now.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, I remember him coming back.
That's my understanding.
He came back to visit set one day, and he sat and had lunch with me. But you could tell this was a person who's just spent the last 2 months in a hospital.
With a bad head injury.
Yeah.
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 I
this
remember.
one.
I can remember the first AD was Myron Hoffert checking and saying he's VSA. I was like, oh my God. And then they got a pulse and they got him out of there. But man, that's when I realized, you know what, it's what you guys do.
Well,
You want to be really, really, really good at what you do.
He spent the rest of his, I don't know, teaching Aikido.
Ooh.
Yeah, he was an Aikido guy way back then.
Now, did
Before.
he have family in the industry? Is that how he got into?
I don't know.
Wow. But anyway, over the years, you get different memories of stuff and of things that go well. Like,
well, speaking of stuff and that goes well and some doesn't, not always do you got to be a stunt guy for things to go bad. And as we know recently, the Alec Baldwin and Russ situation, someone more in your position,
yeah,
their life was taken. How did that affect you at all?
it was just to me it was atrocious. It just really. I look at stuff like that, and it's like there's absolutely no reason why that should happen. Like what we do, and this is an expression that I've been using for years. We make pretend,
Of course.
and nobody should get hurt or lose their life for making pretend.
Yeah, over a child's dream business. It's like a child's thing.
Yeah. We're so fortunate that we get to do what we do.
Yeah.
And we don't tell the outside, this is a lot of fun. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
This is very serious. Yeah.
yeah, true.
But it just that was devastating. That was, and I mean, I see different news reports that so and so's this and so and so's that. The bottom line is a person lost their life, and it's like over the years there have been times where, as the camera operator, whether as the A camera or B camera, C camera, where I would ask, certain armorers, may I see the gun, please? And I had people like in the past, not so much nowadays. Why? I said, because it's my right. What? I said, it's my right. In the province of Ontario, I have the right to a safe workplace. And I said, I'd like to see the gun. I need to see that the chamber is
agree.
empty. And this was way back. But then there are others where you get like Charlie, and going back to people like Frenchie. They and it's like a great stunt coordinator. These people protect us,
Well, in a lot of
Yeah.
cases, the performer with the firearm is pointing it in your direction within reason. Oh. And it's my understanding that the DP on Rust wanted Alec Baldwin to point the gun at her just off Steadicam
Yeah.
so that you get that angle. She could see the bullets inside the chamber.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I understand that. I mean, they were supposed to be dummies. I was going to say that there's no way that he should have been using a live fire, a live blank in a rehearsal anyway.
Yeah.
But they weren't even blanks. They were just supposed to be dummy bullets, and the young lady couldn't tell the difference. And anyway,
It's sad.
But you've seen
Wicked sad.
you've seen millions of guns on set.
You know,
I don't know millions. But
wait, the first series that I did that we did tons of firearms was John Woo's Once a Thief. Remember that one? Way back? And we fired off tens of thousands of rounds without anybody ever getting hurt. And it was just it was just done really, really well. I've been on shows where the other one was Shoot 'Em Up with Clive Owen,
yeah.
and Paul Giamatti and Monica Bellucci. Oh my gosh. Oh
he's on the podcast trying to get me in trouble.
Yeah.
but yeah, she's lovely. They were the three of them as the leads on that film they were brilliant.
Yeah, Clive Owen's lovely.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. He was a very good one. But we fired off stuff. I was doing the old food bank building down at Lakeshore in Bathurst.
That's the building that David Tomasini was talking about.
How was David? I haven't.
He was great. He was here a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago.
There's the one pilot that I trust.
Everybody says the same thing, man.
Yeah, the guy's brilliant.
If you're gonna fly in a helicopter somewhere,
You want
David.
Dave. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. But we were doing this. We were doing this scene. We had cotton with the Motocam.
Yeah.
And I'm handheld like this, and we've done this and I've got all the padding on. I've got the ears, the face, and everything. And Clive Owen is coming out with 2 Mac 10s, running at us. And we're doing this. We've done a take, and okay, let's do it again. And this time, all of a sudden, Clive is like right on top of me, and I can feel the exhaust from the gun, and I'm getting splattered under the shield.
Whoa.
And we finished. Okay, cut. And I turned to Cotton, and I said, "What happened?" He looks at me. He goes, "I'm really sorry. I missed a shift." I said, "Okay." I said, "Hey, Clive, did you not notice that you were a little closer to us?" "Yeah, but I thought you really wanted that, so I kept going for it."
That's hilarious.
That show was the beginning of the end of my hearing. Like even with yeah, we did so Shoot 'Em Up was so
Yeah,
appropriate.
you were an ear pro.
Oh,
but
totally.
Still.
It's just so much.
Wow.
But yeah, that was great fun. That was and the director of photography on that was Peter Powell, who did a little film called Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Okay.
Yeah,
That little
film.
Asian film.
Yeah, he just might have done 1 or 2 awards with that. Again, a lovely man. Did what was the other film? Dracula 2000 with Gerard Butler.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. That was good fun. Good fun. You
I
know.
remember I was talking to Christopher Plummer, and I called him Chris.
Yeah.
And he says, "It's Christopher." So later, I'm carrying the coffin with another stunt guy, and I was talking to him, and his name happened to be Chris, and I called him Chris, and we're rehearsing,
Yeah.
walking with this coffin, and Christopher Plummer stopped the rehearsal, turned to me, and goes, "I said it's Christopher.
Christopher."
And I said, "I'm talking to him."
That's you know what, I did a few projects with Christopher, and he and I clicked. We did a great film called The 4-Minute Mile, just a little thing about Roger Bannister's story of breaking the 4-minute mile, period piece, and the cinematographer on that was a dear friend, James Chrysanthus. We had so much fun, and again, Christopher was on that, and it was great to see him again. And but I remember on that show, the very first day, I can't remember the director's name. I'd have to do the IMDb bingo. I'm horrible with names. I just am. But He the first day we're doing Steadicam in a library at the U of T's King's College, and we just did simple Steadicam, boom, 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 tell the story, boom, do the thing, and the director says cut, and he just turns to Jim, the DP, and he goes, "I understand. That's how Steadicam is done." And Jim looks at me and goes, "Huh?" He goes, "Yeah." He said he knows what he's doing, and it was great. We had so much fun doing that.
That's cool. So now, okay, for the listener,
Yeah.
tell me what a Steadicam is.
Steadicam is a camera platform that the operator wears on their body. It has a mechanical arm that attaches to a custom-made vest that you attach the Steadicam, what we refer to as the sled. And on top of that, the whatever camera you're using sits on there. And through a series of balancing of basically 3 axes of an XY axis, so front, back, top, bottom, left, right, you neutralize the weight. And if you do it well, the thing is smooth as butter and looks like a dolly.
Now, it is not weightless.
Oh, God, no. Oh, God,
Hence my
no.
question about why you called your production company
Back straight, yeah. The heaviest I ever did was on Resident Evil 5. We did 3D Steadicam, and with the gear that I was wearing, because we have 2 cameras, 2 sets of lens, 2 sets of focus pull stuff, a whole, what I call a kitchen sink, all the stuff for 3D that does the interocular.
Interesting. Yeah.
But my body was carrying about 130 pounds of dead weight. And so I was working, my body was working as a 370 pound person. It hurt.
Whoa.
I can
hurt
only
a
imagine.
lot.
And that's why Steadicam ops stay in.
What kind of days? How many days?
Oh, what it was a
It was
feature.
just a
It was
lot.
a feature.
Yeah,
so
yeah, okay.
I don't know how many we might have done, maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 days out of a 40-day schedule of Steadicam, but they were brutal. I remember doing, the subway station under the Bay Street,
Yes.
the one that's way down below, walking in between the tracks, walking backwards with our lead actress, Mila Jovovich, and I'm walking backwards, and all of a sudden something pops in one of my hammies. Oh, that's, believe me.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And I keep going, and then I can't walk anymore. And the DP, Glenn McPherson, comes up to me and goes, "She's not happy." I said, "That makes 2 of us. I'm not happy." I said, "I wasn't able to do the shot because something popped." "What do you mean something popped?" I said, "Something in my hamstring." "Well, you're going to be okay?" I said, "I don't know." I said,
In
"I
a
have
week
to-"
or two.
I said, "I got to check it out," because I've had this, oh man, doing the show Alphas. We're out of the Guelph prison, and I had to do a bullet's point of view, a sniper's bullet point of view, chasing a motorcade at 3 frames a second. Who the fuck dreams up this shit, man? Like,
Writers about that shit.
and I'm running down a hill chasing the motorcade with the Steadicam, and they had just cut the lawn, but I didn't see where they'd cut. There was a pothole that the grass had grown in. I stepped in there, and bang, my right hamstring let go.
Ugh.
And I kept going, and I'm yelling at them to slow down. And finally, I catch the motorcade, and I catch the vehicle, like the black SUV that's got the target in it. And I went, "Wow, okay, I'm fucked." And I asked somebody, "I can't carry this back up the hill. You got to take it." And I get all the way. "Okay, great. Let's go again." I said, "No." I said, I popped a hamstring." "What?" I said, "I got to go see the medic." I go see the medic, and he goes, I think you should go and get some imagery of this. And anyway,
Yeah.
long story short, I did not leave the show. I stayed on there, and the other operator, Frank Poliak, he's watching me at one point doing a handheld shot where I bumped against something, and he said, "I saw you." He said, "You reacted in extreme pain." I said, "Yeah, the stabilizer muscles on the either side of where the hamstring, basically little pop had pulled away from where it attaches at the top."
Ugh.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yuck.
This is why I have a great relationship with one specific massage therapist. I've been going to for over 12 years. She knows where all the the injuries are. I mean, and I've done that like crazy stuff with the Steadicam. I remember, what was the show? Jumper. Remember Jumper?
Yeah.
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 Jumper, we're doing second unit stuff out back of the jumbo stage on.
That was the Doug Lyman.
Yeah. Which
Awesome.
The
director.
original or the new one?
No. The new thing is called something else.
Right.
but
The original,
I,
yeah.
you know, and Doug Lyman is, yes, he is an incredible director, but he is definitely goes to a different drum.
Yeah. It's
And
unique.
he and I clicked. You know, he would describe something. I said, "Oh, this is what you want." He goes, "Yeah." And so I was in.
You understood all that.
I did. Yeah.
Interesting. I directed second unit on his the
Yeah, I
pilot
forget what it's
of the
called
other thing.
though. I forget what that's
So
called.
do I.
Yeah.
I didn't get work on the next one, so I didn't care.
Yeah.
As a stunt coordinator, right?
Yeah.
So I was just stunt coordinator on the pilot, and then I.
But he's
directed
done some
second unit,
incredible movies.
He has, but his way is very unique.
Yeah.
Very,
It's
very.
very unique. I can remember him sitting in a chair talking to the studios in LA. This is how I do it. Don't be bugging me. You know, like, wow, okay. But I had one night we were doing this. It was a desert scene, and I was Steadicam in low mode, and just running up and down in the sand the whole time. And I have an hour drive home, so I drive home. It's like 4:30 in the morning when I'm back into the garage, and I've left my gear in Toronto, and it's because I'm going back to the show. I'm on second unit full time, and it's a busy second unit, and I get into there, and as I climb out of the car, all of a sudden both hamstrings lock.
You can't move.
It's 4:30. My family is asleep. Not that they can do anything for me.
Yeah.
Here I am leaning on the door of the car and almost in tears, and I cannot get, you know, when you get a hamstring or something like that, it lets go and you go, oh, okay, that's better. 20 minutes of trying to lean forward millimeter by millimeter to get it to let go.
You're talking to two stunt guys that live at least an hour from any set we work on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do the same thing.
You know it.
I have to warm up to go from my car to the back door.
I am playing, one of the things that from the pandemic is I picked up tennis. And I played tennis as a kid, like from 4 till about 17, but just goofing around with my siblings and my dad and my mom. I never played competitive tennis. Grimsby Tennis Club, during the lockdown, the membership was great. The cost of 2 rounds of golf, I can play tennis all summer.
Oh, great.
And so I went down there and I'm playing. But now I have tonight, I'm playing mixed doubles. This is the second time out this year. Tuesday night I played men's doubles, and it was great. The guys are great. They're good fun. The women are competitive. And
Oh, you're talking about mixed, like a female
Mixed
male.
Yeah.
co-ed
Oh,
stuff.
I'm thinking he's
Co-ed.
drinking scotch and Jack Daniels. Mixed doubles.
Mixed doubles. I can be into it. Talk to me that. But so I will be tonight or for this evening. Before I go there, there'll be about 45 minutes of stretching, so I can go play tennis.
Yeah, totally, man.
It's like this.
I get it.
Well, are your hamstrings still working? Okay?
I can still do the splits. But
Wow,
yeah. I'm not going to do it now. I'm not warmed up.
Oh,
but
come
when I'm
on. We got cameras
Yeah,
everywhere.
we were hoping
Want
to see this.
right here.
No,
I've always
enough
thought,
room on the table.
Not happening. Not guaranteed. Not
We
happening.
got a wide right there that I would love to see it.
Yeah. I'm gonna get down there. I won't be able to get back up. But you guys, this is the thing is I've talked with a variety of stunt people over the years. Especially, I had great conversations with Jamie about this, and just the whole aspect of what we do to our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't do stunts. You guys do, but in the end result, it's the same. You
yeah,
know?
true enough. We beat ourselves up pretty good
We do.
and have for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, 35 years of Steadicam, and if you come up to a Steadicam person, guy or girl, and they say, "Oh no, it doesn't hurt," I'm laying down the bullshit card.
Yeah.
It does, because the whole concept of Steadicam is let's hang this lump of dead weight off the side of your body where there's no structural or infrastructural support system. We're biped creatures. We're vertical loaded.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you take a lump of dead weight and attach it to the one part of the human skeletal structure that has no lateral support, which is the lower back in the lumbar area. My spine comes down and does this. This is like a snake road.
So is there a twist to it? Is there a constant twist to your...
It pulls. It pulls. The muscle that is activated for me, because I would attach on the right side as opposed to somebody attaching on the left side, which you can do both. And what it has done over 35 years is it's pulled my spine to the right, pulled my ribs down, pulled my top of my pelvis up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's great fun.
Jesus.
And this is why my daughter Bridget was going to go into it.
Yeah.
And then she saw what I was dealing with after this many years. She goes, I don't think I want to do that. And she
Stick
was,
with the dolly cart.
and she was good.
Yeah, but so there's other aspects that she could explore, like a movie or handheld stuff, right?
Yeah, and she will. That's her one of her goals is to become a camera operator. But right now she's working with a wonderful focus puller named Kirill Sabulov from Ukraine. Kirill's a brilliant focus puller. I've worked
But lousy at an Irish accent.
lousy at an Irish accent. So true, so true. But they're a great team. I've worked with both of them, and I just love working with both of them. He was my focus puller when we did. Okay, I mentioned earlier my love of car racing. I got a call out of the blue a couple of years back. Hey, listen, what are you doing this weekend? Well, I was going to go up to Mosport and watch the IMSA race. Do you want to come up to Mosport and shoot the IMSA race? Sure. And it's this film called The Art of Racing in the Rain. Have you seen it?
The Art of Racing in the Rain?
It's a brilliant book. But if you are into car racing, and you guys love dogs? Do you like dogs?
Yeah, love dogs. Yeah.
Okay, make sure when you watch it, you might want to have a Kleenex or two because sometimes something gets in your eye.
Aw.
It's a beautiful story. The
I have a
film
beautiful
the
dog.
film is told from the dog's point of view, with Kevin Costner as the voice of the dog.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's just beautiful, and it's all about the story of this family, and the dad in the family is into racing. He's a race mechanic, and he wants to race, and all the things that go on in their lives. But there's a lot of racing within the film, and I got called to go up to Mosport, and I got up there and went, oh, this is legit. This is awesome. And after our first big meeting, all the camera guys and everything, we meet with the director. And the director's a gentleman by the name of Jeff Schwartz. And I'm going, like, Jeff Schwartz? I said, this is the guy who was Road and Track's top photographer in the 70s and the 80s. That I used to just study his photography. I would just look at the reflections in the car where the lighting was, look at how he shot the cars. And he was a huge, unbeknownst to him, he was a huge influencer on me. And so I get there and I'm like, okay, this is like, don't be a fanboy. Try not to be a fanboy. I didn't succeed. I was just like, oh, wow, it's Jeff Schwartz. Like, and to anybody else, they're like, who? Yeah, he's just a guy.
And you let him know?
I kind of let him know. I let him know more in the work. He had a cameraman that was with him. One time I brought all my cards back to the camera truck where we're downloading all the video. And I'm sitting and I'm watching his camera guys work in the pits. And I went, oh, yeah. I said, this is totally Jeff Schwartz. He said, you've got his style. And he goes, you know his style? I said, oh, yeah.
That's right.
I said, a total fanboy. I said, and then they started downloading my stuff. And he just looked at me and says, holy shit, Jeff is going to freak for this. He said, this is great. Because he said, this is what I want. This is how I want. Okay, great. No problem.
Show off.
Oh, absolutely. In a heartbeat. But one of the things I did was there's a track map of Mosport.
Yeah.
So I took the schedule for the day and a highlighter, different colored highlighters, and just marked different cameras' positions that I wanted to get to that coincided with the different schedules. And so I put this all together, and then we're getting ready to go out for the morning, and one of the other camera guys comes over and goes, what's that? I said, it's a track map. He goes, yeah, I got one. But he said, where did you get all the highlighter and that information? I looked at him. I said, here. He goes, what? I said, this is my home track. I said, I know every inch of this track. I said, they could not have hired a better person. And I went out and got stuff. And I told Kirill, our focus puller, and the other guys with me, I said, I'm going to ask you to work a lot harder. We're going to do things like climb over fences and jump creeks. And then we're going to pop up in the middle of nowhere. And you're going to see amazing, amazing car racing. And we did stuff, and we got to places where even the driver, like the first thing they said, well, here's a van for you. I said, it's too high. We need a smaller profile, lower profile, because where we're going, there's trees and this. The driver that came with us saw what we were doing. He goes, hey, can I help, guys? Of course you can help. And he's helping carrying tripods and batteries over the fence and across the creeks. And he's standing there going, this is amazing. I said, yeah. I said, it's pretty cool. I said, we went to an area at one point on the track where I said, okay, here's the deal. I said, I'm going down there only for a few minutes because it's really dangerous. And I said, the cars are coming to us at about 175 miles an hour. And I said, and if they fuck up, you have one choice. That's either stand there, or two choices, stand there and see what happens, or jump down into the bramble bushes down there and get all cut up and messed up, but you'll be alive.
Yeah, well, given a choice.
Yeah. And I said, so let's do this. So we went down there, stayed maybe 10 minutes of shooting. I said, that's long enough. We don't push the gods. Don't push the racing gods, because I've seen crashes there that are just violent. And we got out of there, and it was all good. But the footage in the film, there's so much. Like, they had 4 cameras, but if I can brag, I looked at the film when I watched it. I've watched it a couple of times now. The majority of the second unit stuff
Was yours.
Sierra camera. That was us.
Stellar.
The name of the movie again?
The Art of Racing in the Rain.
I have heard of it. I've heard of it. Yeah.
I would highly recommend reading the book. It is just a great story.
Okay.
Like, here's the crazy thing. They had reached out to me when they were originally going to shoot in Portland, Oregon, because at the time I had a U.S. visa, and they said, come on over. And I said, I can't. I said, I'm not available right now. And then they moved it to Vancouver. They delayed, and when they moved to Vancouver, I was like, oh crap, I'm available. And they had picked their Vancouver team already. So when they came to Toronto, the director of photography of the main unit showed up at Mosport one day, and he goes, "You're that guy." And I said, "I'm that guy." Yeah.
So
and
good.
he goes, "This is what I need you to make sure we get with, And I said, "No problem. I'm listening to both. That's the main unit director of photography. I am listening to you, and Mr. Jeff Schwartz, the director and cinematographer of this, I'm listening to." And it was to me, I have 2 projects that were my highlights in my career, and that's one of them. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
What's the other one?
Oh, well, we mentioned him earlier, Sud Sutherland and Jen Holness.
Okay.
A wonderful $4 million film called Home Again. And that was made with some envelope money from Don Carmody. This is how the circle is really small.
Wow.
Don Carmody made so great money off the first Resident Evil film. And so I'm not sure exactly how it works, but a certain amount of the money that is profits of that have to be put back into our Canadian productions. So hence it's called envelope money, I believe. And so he put that in, and we went down to Trinidad and we shot this film. Apparently, the story is set in Jamaica, and it's the story of 3 expatriates being deported back to Jamaica, one from the U.S., one from Canada, one from the U.K., and how the 3 stories intertwine with each other in the story of the movie. It's a fantastic film for such a small little film. And we went down there. Half the crew is from Toronto, and the other half is from Trinidad, it is definitely the other best project I worked on.
And why is that?
Nice to say.
We had a great group of people from Toronto who are all very talented filmmakers in each and every one of our departments. And then we met up with a whole bunch of people. The local producer, a lady by the name of Lisa Wickham, put together a crew of Trinis, and they had never worked on a film. Some of them worked in broadcast, some of them worked in media arts and that sort of thing. So there was people from down there, and just the relationships that were created. The lead on the film is Stefan. Oh, what's his name? Oh, anyway, again, this is my memory. IMDb bingo. I'll look it up. He was just in. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Sorry, it's not. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But the film, the time there, we were there. We went down like January 2nd in 2012, and we were there for six and a half weeks. And it was the run up to Carnival. What a time! What a great, absolute brilliant experience. Still in contact. Thankfully, we live in this time of social media, so it's still in contact with people from Trinidad there. And I've been back to Trinidad. I went back the next year for the screening of the film down there. That Suds and Jen brought the film back to Port of Spain. I went down and had a great time.
Beautiful.
And then I went back. That producer on that, Lisa Wickham, asked me to come back and do a camera operator workshop for people, and I did. Had a great time. So my wife Rosalie and myself, we did a 1-day workshop and then over to Tobago for about 6 or 7 days.
Well, you needed a vacation after that 1 day of teaching.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I tell you what, if you ever you want to see
Tobago.
a total chill place. Tobago is best way I could describe it. Tobago is Trinidad's cottage country. It is so
Oh, great. Now
chill.
Andrew's going to be leaving soon.
So chill, so laid back. Do you scuba dive?
No, but
Yeah.
you know what? I'm going to get into it
Because
though.
that's
It's
a place.
been a desire.
There's a place. Lots of fresh seafood. Just chill.
Oh, well, I like
laid
that.
back.
I like the seafood.
You know, just sit on the beach, drink a cold beer, and just drink it in.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
good, man.
Yeah.
We had a scuba teacher here, and
Who'd you have?
he's gonna.
We had Carly Hunter.
You had
Hunter.
Carly?
Yeah, she was here.
Well, Carly, here's another. It's the circle comes
She's
small.
right there. She signed right there.
Oh yeah, Carly was one of the focus pullers on Liam and May.
Oh, no kidding.
This is small. It's a small circle, man.
Aw,
And I have all the time in the world for Carly. She's great, and what she's doing,
she's sweet. Man.
Yeah.
doing is awesome.
Yeah, and
You
she's
know.
good
Yeah,
at it.
honestly,
she is,
thankful
Really
for
good
people
at
like
what
her
she does.
Yeah,
who have their head on straight.
yeah,
you know?
yeah. No,
That's why she was here.
Yeah. Well, I've kind of broken that mold, huh?
Yeah, we fucked up bringing you here.
Oh fuck, this guy's still here. What do
So
we do?
what's happening in the future? Right, like what's going down?
Well, on a personal note, I'm a granddad.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
As am I.
Yeah, it's wonderful. How old are your grandkids?
6, Harriet.
Yeah. I have the oldest is Charlotte. She will be 2 on August 1st, and she's
Beautiful.
yeah, and she calls me. I'm not. I was introduced to her when she was, with her dad was there. This Dada, and this is Dada's Dada, and you could see that she's this little brain, and she went, Dada Dada.
Yeah, I was going to say.
And I said, yeah, sure, that works. So now it's like I'm Dada Dada.
Well, up until a year ago, I was grandma.
It works, right? Whatever it works. And so she has a little sister named Georgia, who is the chill pill. This is a lovely little angel. And so that's our son Connor, the singer from Liam and May. He and his wife Emma, they have those 2 little girls, and Connor's older brother Patrick and his wife Aniko have a little baby girl due first week of July.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
And you can tell them that Randy, with an I, is a wonderful name for a little girl.
I will tell them.
Yeah, there's no Andrews. No
No.
female Andrews.
Hey,
Well, that's
did you growing up? Did you ever get Drew or Andy or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't generally go by them. I mean, Andrew's been my name, and I don't know what it is, but I think if my name were Ashley, I would want it to just be Ashley. I don't want it to be Ash. You know, I don't like Andy.
Yeah.
I've had the occasional friend that went by they just did it because they did it, and
Yeah.
they didn't care what I had to say. And every once in a while, that's kind of okay.
Yeah.
But you know, I've got a couple buddies that call me Drew.
Yeah.
We had a buddy on
he's
here.
pretty quick to correct somebody that calls him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I get all the time? People meet me briefly and then they meet me again. Oh, how's it going, Kevin?
What?
It's not Kevin.
That was my favorite uncle. Thank you.
Yeah.
I get Adam
You know
and
what?
stuff like that.
That's the whole. I have my uncle Kevin. Exactly. That's what I say. I had a great. My uncle Kevin was a wonderful person. So I said, it's fine. You can, if you want to call me Kevin, call me Kyle, whatever. I don't give a shit. You know?
You got
That's
a
the
friend,
thing. I
but-
think I'd rather something else than
Yeah.
Andy or
Yeah.
Drew.
Yeah.
Just to call me Adam is fine. I don't know. No,
he
it's
was
weird.
actually named after my best friend Andy. So
Yeah.
so people call him the odd person.
Well, it's just some people will just. I mean, when I'm on set, I'll have introduced myself as Andrew.
Yeah.
My Andrew's on the call sheet.
Yeah.
Why are you calling me Andy? Nobody ever said call me Andy.
Yeah.
I was never,
Does
so
it say
just like,
Andrew?
why?
Andrew bracket Andy?
No.
You know?
Yeah. So
totally.
I don't know why, but it's just that's something I don't.
My grandfather, his name is John McCullough, but he went by Jack, because that's not apparently that's a thing. Like even with the president of the United States, John
F.
Kennedy,
yeah.
but he was called Jack.
Right.
So it's a thing. I don't know how.
That's
the
weird.
thing comes
Yeah,
from,
I've
but,
never heard of that.
My father's name was Robert. He goes by Bob,
Yes,
as is Danny Bailey.
Dan Bob.
Dan Bob.
Yeah.
Dan Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's what it is. But what's going on? That's on the family side. On the work side, in the short term, happy to go out and help anybody do whatever they do with my talents as a camera operator. But I definitely found that through the process and the experience of Liam and May, I can direct.
Yeah.
I actually can do that. I used to be an editor, which helps a ton. Like nobody.
Big
I can imagine. Yeah.
People don't think you were an editor. Yeah, I was an editor for the first 5 years of my career. I said,
Probably the director's best friend, really.
the editor. Oh yeah. Well, I've worked with numerous directors who have their whole career as editors, and boy, can you tell? Can you tell?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Really, there's a gentleman who used to be a graphic artist and a storyboard artist that is a great director. I've worked with Vincenzo Natali. If you ever get a chance to, there's a sweet soul who has talent like coming out of the yin yang. It's just incredible.
It's funny. He describes me exactly the same way.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do a lot, all the time. The thing is, there's nobody else in the room, but that's okay. But it's just this is for me. It's like and getting into producing, and I'm hoping the thing. Let me ask you a question, Randy. Have you run into this latest ism? You know how there's racism, genderism, all this. Have you run into ageism?
Not to my face.
Yeah. No, nobody will say it to your face. But yeah. So you've experienced it.
I'm not aware.
Yeah, I have. I it's a very subtle thing, but it's like, you know what? I've got this phenomenal amount of experience.
Yeah.
And I'm still really, really, really good at what I do, and I'm still physically capable of doing, what you want. But there's no, you're an old guy. What?
Yeah, I don't think of it in that term. At least I have not experienced that. As I've gotten over 40, I just did a big show, Mayor of Kingstown, a year and a half ago
Yeah.
or two, whatever it is.
We
now.
started putting on his birthday cake just 40 plus.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
it's a huge plus sign, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Keith, I don't know if it makes a difference in my business.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But it's funny because I've just hooked into an advertising agency that wants me to direct for them. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, so if it's turning from one, it's turning into another.
Yeah.
And nothing about age ever.
Which is funny to me because, like, unless we're all watching Biden go a little crazy, but unless you're going a little nuts,
Yeah.
the wisdom and the knowledge and experience is
yeah.
fucking unbelievable.
But what I'm finding interesting is that your experience and my experience is so vast that it may offend some younger people that don't have it.
Well, I think that
Fuck
that but that offense essentially comes from
Lack of confidence.
lack of confidence, and they feel intimidated
100%.
based in that lack of confidence. And
That's
it's like,
Yeah,
don't.
but that's
don't
a new age thing that I mean, was that like when you were young and starting out, didn't
Yeah.
you want to look up to your guys like that?
I would tell you what, anybody who would be like, if I was working with an operator when I was younger, that somebody had experience like me, I was so intimidated that they had all this experience that I would just quietly listen. And then if the opportunity arose to ask a question,
Right.
I would ask.
Right.
Now, you know,
I was in a meeting for a film that I was up for as a coordinator, and I asked very, very good questions. And when I got home, I got a call from the producer, and the director actually said to him verbally, he actually said to this man, I don't want anybody on my set that knows how to make films better than me. So, like, I didn't get the job because of some questions I asked of the director.
wow. Well, I can believe it, you know.
Yeah, but then it's getting worse.
But the thing, and that's the crazy to me. If I'm going into a situation on a large project, what am I going to do? I want to surround myself with the absolute best people available to
are
me,
you kidding
and
me?
they are going to make me look brilliant.
Hey, here, go make my film.
Yeah,
Well,
As long as you, the director, can communicate.
yeah.
That's I tell people ask me what's the job of a director. I tell them in one word: communicate.
Yeah.
So if you can communicate your needs to that person, the DP, and this person and that person,
Yeah.
well, imagine working in the movie business and thinking that everything that's going on right now revolves around what you're doing, and that it isn't a completely magnetic, collaborative art going on right here.
Yeah, there are some people who are like that. One of the things that a term that really popped up in the last 15 years that I just looked like, and to me it's the biggest line of bullshit ever. Fake it till you make it.
yeah.
How about you learn your craft, and when you have learned your craft, then you've made it. You know, don't fake it.
Sure.
Work at it. Learn your craft. It's so important. Like, I hear that, and it's like, no, you're wrong. You're a phony.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, but now having said that, even if you are faking it to make it, why walk into something like you do know it so much that you're trying, like, why you're trying to take all the cake? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I agree with you on what you're saying, but even if you're gonna be like that, just pay attention. Just keep learning and I don't know.
it comes down to learn your craft.
Yeah, really.
I mean, no matter what somebody does, whether they're in the art department, they're in hair and makeup, whether they're in the wardrobe department, whether they're in props, whatever, they're grips, electrics, it doesn't matter. Each one of those is a craft. And if you work really hard and you learn from those that have gone ahead of you, basically, and then you get enough knowledge where you can then say, hey, why don't we try it this way and see if that can make it better, can make it easier, can make it more powerful, whatever. And it to me, it applies to everything. You know, it really, really does, you know. So
Well, speaking of the future, what do you think about AI?
it's going to become a tool, or it is becoming a tool, and it's up to us rather than worry about, it's going to take over work from us. No, let's make AI work for us. Let's make the machine work for us, you know, rather than us work for the machine.
I was reading about a camera called something like a 4-eye hammerhead or something, or what was it called? I forget what it's called, but it was a camera that uses AI to follow the subject, to find and follow the subject that is.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I've not heard of it.
Now,
but-
as far as I'm aware, it's been used mostly on helicopters
Yeah.
right now, and I imagine that's a great security
Yeah,
feature.
but that's been around. That's not recent. They're like,
okay.
like tracking stuff. You look at you see footage of police helicopters.
Oh,
and-
my drone
yeah.
will do that.
You can track.
I can build a box on you. I just
Yeah,
put my box over
really?
you and my drone. I can
Yeah.
fly my drone anywhere I want.
and it'll follow.
And
Yeah,
it
yeah.
follows you.
Yeah, my little pocket drone will do that. It's interesting.
Okay.
I have this little pocket drone, this DJI thing, but since I did my film, I haven't used it. It's like,
Yeah,
Sometimes you don't need it.
Well, it's not a thing that was for me. It had a purpose.
Yeah, it was a tool.
It served as a tool, and it served its purpose. And it's not something that, it's like,
So if young people are getting into the business that you're in,
yeah.
is Steadicam still a very viable way of getting in?
It's to me, and I guess I'm a bit old school on it because Steadicam is a tool, and it's if used well and used properly, it's a fantastic tool for storytelling. So I recommend that if somebody's going to do this, spend time learning other parts of the camera department, and then move up. But I see people coming right out of school. And mom and dad have some money and they go out and spend, 60, 70 grand on getting them a rig. And, I'm a Steadicam operator.
I know a couple.
Yeah.
Really? You're a Steadicam operator? Show me your reel. Oh, I don't have a reel. Well, then you're not a Steadicam
I just
operator.
own the Steadicam.
Yeah. And I see a lot of people who are getting, not a lot, that's the wrong. I see people who get it. Who
Feels like a lot.
No, maybe it does. But who get into it, who are already, let's say, trainees, second assistants, focus pullers, or grips, and they decide that I want to make money. I'm going to go buy a Steadicam and become a Steadicam operator. If money is your motivation for learning this craft, you might want to pick on something else.
Agreed.
Because it's a wonderful tool for telling visual stories. It's really good. And this is one of the things that happened with me at the end. When I decided my body was just saying enough already. And the other was, it had been a long time since I had actually done a really creative Steadicam storytelling shot. And people say, well, why didn't you do it? I'm not the director.
Yeah.
You want me to direct? Then pay me to be the director.
But they have the tool, but they don't know how to operate that. They don't know how to utilize that tool.
Yeah, I was on a show where we did this really cool shot, and the director said, "Oh my God, that's amazing! Why haven't we been doing this all along?" And I looked at the director and I said, "Because the people you're bringing in don't understand how to use the tool." Right. She went, "What?" I said, "This ability has been here the whole time." I said, "But you guys, you didn't want to do it this way because I don't know." I mean, and I got fed up with where I was creating storytelling and the director's getting the credit. And it's like, well, no, I did that. They didn't do that. Oh, yeah, but that's it. And then the other thing that I was seeing was people coming in and checking boxes, like, oh, you're a visible minority and you're female. And what's the other box? Oh, you happen to be gender specific. And, oh, tick, 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 you're in. Yeah, but they don't tick the box that they can actually direct.
Yeah, that's a big thing, eh?
It's a thing. I don't know. Maybe it's
a
just
thing.
me. I don't know.
No.
But I look at it like, Randy, you may have seen it, like where you go and you go, this person, yeah, they're in this position of storytelling and they don't know how to do it. Either they're intimidated or I worked with a director, who's a very lovely director, but every time he would be setting up, he would talk really quiet. And I'd say, hey, what? I'm sorry. Can you speak up? What? And finally, I said, hey, man, don't talk quietly. Talk out loud. Tell us what you're thinking. You tell us what you're thinking, then we can execute. I said, 100%. We'll get you what you want. I said, it's not an ego thing here. We want to help you.
Yeah, Keith, it has less to do with ageism than everything else about me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so fascinating to see. And then that particular director has gone on and he's done some great stuff, and where I've reached out to him, and just said, hey, that looks great. Oh my God, I wish you were here. You would have made a huge difference, because he understood, wow, if I communicate with this guy what I want, he will pull it off, and then he will take it to the next level.
Well, what's your favorite thing in a director? I know it's a vast question, but when you get to set, what eases you?
Short hair, mustache, goatee.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like someone pretty.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I know I'm gonna have a good time.
Somebody brings snacks.
Yeah. Yeah. When they bring those Welch's things, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I would say, going back to what you said, Randy, communication.
Yeah.
I honestly don't care of what you are. I only care of who you are. Are you a decent human being?
Yeah.
And then are you capable of communicating with me what you want?
That really is always the thing.
I think.
It's always the number one complaint or the number one best thing.
Yeah, I think so. I still, when I get out on set, I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just listening. I'm watching. Why are you standing by the monitors? So I see what's going on. Oh, you're not needed for this this blocking. That's okay. I said, it's free information. What? I said, I'm fine. I'll just be here quietly. I'm not going to ask any questions. I just want to watch. The more knowledge and information that I have, the better I can take my craft and execute for you and hopefully make your project even better.
Yeah. And anyone who doesn't want you standing there, it goes back to that confidence issue.
I think you're right. I do. I think you're right. And it's just...
It's intimidating if you really don't know your job.
Yeah.
Or like how to communicate what you need.
Yeah.
And you have a bunch of people standing around listening to how you're doing.
Yeah. And then they know, they're smart enough to know, oh crap, they don't.
Oh, come on. Any crew that's been together for 2 hours
Yeah.
knows if the director's.
Yeah.
For sure.
I just, in April, I had the privilege of going out and we did 2 days of a second unit for a film that was shot in Malta, but the story set in Boston. And we were in Kitchener for doing a couple of scenes.
Well, that makes sense.
I know. That's why I love our industry. It takes the bizarre and makes it real.
Yeah.
And the director and the DP were just wonderful. They communicated so succinctly, and it just made me just want to do more.
Absolutely.
And help them. Like that sort of thing. It's when you get the opposite, and you go, why am I putting out this effort if these people aren't interested in doing it? But these guys were fantastic, and it was funny because the focus puller was also from Spain. And at one point on the second day, I said, I got a question for you guys. I said, you guys are speaking Spanish, but it doesn't sound like the Spanish of like South America, Central America. And they go, oh, you noticed, we're Catalonian. And I looked at them and said, you guys are rebels. And they just laughed. And I said, yeah. They said, in Catalonia, we have a different dialect. And I said, oh, okay, cool.
Really?
Yeah. Well, the Catalonians, they are sort of the separatists of Spain, so to speak.
Okay.
And that's painting with a very, very broad stroke.
Yeah, we don't want to get any mail from Spanish people.
Yeah. But
Can't read it anyway.
Yeah, but it was a great 2 days in Kitchener and working with these people, and it was good fun.
Should have dropped
Sweet.
by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Next time you're in the region.
Yeah, man, I can do that.
Well, while we chat a little bit about some of your other projects,
My side hustle.
your side hustle, we would love for you, if you want to sign our table.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm right here. My ball's rested here.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
No.
Yeah, you can't
Look
take
at
his
this.
ball spot.
Wow. I mean, somebody's got
Is that
talent.
Mariah?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what to sign. What to say.
Mariah's got a lot of talent. I'm not sure if that is.
Go somewhere between these two.
Yeah. What should I?
Yeah, everyone signs right there.
That
Yeah.
Dave.
We got a whole table
He
here.
drew a little helicopter.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got a lot of neat stuff here. It's
I
cool.
have no idea what this is. Like, you're on set and somebody's birthday. Here, fill out a card, or somebody's leaving. Fill out the card.
Yeah, what do?
We got Tom Comet from Drone Boy right here. He's got a little drone.
Oh, I know Tom.
Yeah.
This is great. Wow.
Yeah, and feel free to draw a picture. Like,
Oh, you know.
of a complete Steadicam rig.
You should see my storyboards, man.
Never mind.
They are stick people. And you know how you know which way they're looking? Their nose goes, dirk, dirk. I don't know yeah. Okay.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to bring up your
Yeah.
side hustle here. So you brought us a sample of your hot sauce.
The mild hot sauce.
This is
the mild one.
the mild of Papa Murph's Trini style pepper sauce.
And how can somebody get some of this?
Well,
Is this a future thing?
this is a future
Will there
thing.
be labels and
There'll be a whole different bottles. It'll be labels. It'll be everything.
Sorry, say it again. The name.
Can we get a bigger one?
Yes, you can.
Say the name again.
For such a deal. Papa Murph's.
Papa Murph's.
Yeah. Trini style
Trini style.
Peppa. Peppa.
Peppa.
Sauce.
Pepper sauce.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
It's fucking
Just so
good. It's
everybody knows.
really fucking good.
And this is the mild hot sauce.
Yes.
And I'm a hot sauce guy.
Yes.
And that still stung.
That has a
So,
bite.
Yeah, it's
It has
good.
a bite.
Yep.
But
I can't wait to try
like,
the other stuff.
if I'm having like the other day I came home and there were some leftover lovely grilled cheese sandwiches that had been made for our granddaughters and our daughter-in-law, and I took the first was half a sandwich and I wolfed it down and I went, well, that was actually pretty good. So the next two I warmed them up and then I put that right over, like spread right over the top of it.
It's made with good stuff.
Oh man, yeah. There's a hint of flavors and flavor profile in it. You know, if we're talking the Food Network, you know,
Yeah.
Flavor profile.
Oh, yeah.
flavor profile.
It is. One thing that's what I love about it is that it is it's got a whole bunch of flavor and is spicy. It's not just a hot sauce.
Yeah.
It's not that hot thing that destroys everything else.
Yeah, that's
which
what-
is an
yeah.
island thing for sure.
Yeah, that's what I found. Most of the sauces that I tried when I was in Trinidad and in Jamaica years ago when I was there, is that it was just hot peppers turned into a sauce. Well, no, I want more. So what I found about 3 different recipes that I cherry picked from each of them, and then added my own little signature things that you can only get in Canada. But it's mango based. But this year, because I live in Niagara, and I went, what if I did it with peach? Like the
I'm into that.
peach
That sounds
season's
good.
coming up, and you know, I've expanded in my garden. I've made room. I've put in a trellis for my cucumbers so they don't take over everything. Cucumbers could cover this whole table. It's crazy, and they just grow and grow and grow, and you got to keep plucking them back. And
And this is all on your land.
this is it's just in small garden in the back, in the backyard. Yeah.
Jeez, cool.
Yeah, and so the plan is that my wife is like, do we have to buy another freezer for all the peppers you're growing? I don't know. She goes, well, you've got all these peppers from last year, and I said, yeah, I'll get to them. You know, so
Well,
that
I'll put your website up on the podcast, and people will be ordering this in pre-orders.
well, that's the next thing
And
is
then
to
we'll have a
actually go.
sponsor.
Like I had, well, appreciate that. I'm digging that.
Hey, welcome to
man.
Back Going Again by Papa Smurf.
Yeah.
Papa Murph's. baby.
Yeah, you can't. Unfortunately, I would love to do Papa Smurf. But,
Yeah, well, that's what
Some
came
would
through.
take
That's
it.
what went through my head.
some guy in a blue suit has got that taken, you know. But that's my nickname for some of the older people in the camera departments of 667.
Really?
Yeah, because when I first upgraded to became an operator, my focus puller, believe it or not, was Angelo Colavecchia, and my my second assistant was Mike Carella, who are both phenomenal operators, and on top of that, just really lovely human beings. But I had we were shooting in the winter, and I had my winter snowsuit, so to speak, which was from the 1988 Calgary Olympics.
Oh, that blue thing. I know the coat.
I was Papa Smurf.
Wow,
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And so it became like back in the days, like when we were doing Jumper, for example, all the trucks were connected and we were all playing Halo. And my gamer name was Papa Smurf. I used to get slaughtered.
See, I was getting a psychic feeling there.
You were?
Smurfy.
But yeah, the plan is to upscale this. Now, where I live,
Playing Halo.
there's a little apothecary, an organic apothecary right around the corner from me called Mingle Hill.
Cool.
And they, I went in at the winter at Christmas to get some stuff like stocking stuffers for my wife, and they have lavender oils and things of that nature, and creams, and they had their own hot sauces in there, and you could taste them, and I'm, well, these are tasty. Some were done with apple, some were done with pear, and I was like, this is nice. And I, chatting with them, I said, yeah, I'm your neighbor. I said, I'm just 5 driveways around the corner. 5 driveways in the country is you're a kilometer away. And I said, I make my own hot sauce. I said, would you like to try it? They gave me two jars, and I gave them the mild and the hot, dropped them off. Then they closed for the season. Back in like the end of February or so, I saw a vehicle there, so I wheeled in, and I'm looking, there's nobody. The door's open. I go in, there's cats inside, and there's a fireplace, like a potbelly stove going, and I went, oh, somebody's obviously here. And all of a sudden, the guy comes out, his name's Randy, and he comes out, he's like, he's got the goatee, except he's got more hair.
Okay.
Anyway, and he says, hey man, we we took your sauce and we put it into, there's a YouTube show, a hot sauce show where people try.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hot ones.
Is that, yeah.
Man, it's great.
And
Sean Evans.
They bought the package, and they had a night of wings with all the different sauces, and they said, we put your sauce in with the mix of what they supplies. Oh, okay. And he goes, everybody agreed yours was the best sauce.
No kidding.
They've had Canadian
and you
guys
didn't
on.
get credit.
Well, this is all anecdotal, and so the whole process is going to be, as I step up, like the next step for me is probably if next week goes well, while the swimming pool is being reparged and cemented and getting painted, I may be making my the 2023 hot sauce. So,
oh man, right on.
Yeah.
With a peach base.
Right on.
well, I got to wait for the peach season to come on.
Okay,
like right now, it's strawberry season. And
No, I don't know his name or anything, but there is a guy in the area that has had his hot sauce on that show.
really,
On Hot Ones, yeah, and they've done an obscene amount of seasons. They're insanely popular, more popular than any television show going.
people keep talking to me about it.
You got to reach out, man.
I haven't. Yeah, I will. I mean, find out. Can I send you this? You can check it out.
Yeah.
But this year, I'm hoping to do a mild, a medium, and a hot. Because
Nice.
the last for medium, for the mild, it was Bridget came up to me. She says, Dad, she goes, I want to taste your hot sauce, but I don't do hot.
Oh.
Well, okay. I said, well, I don't know for mild, so how about we make it together? And it was great. We had a lot of
That's
fun.
awesome.
And so that's her palate. She thinks that's hot.
Well, it does have a bite to it, but I can imagine if you're dipping a grilled cheese sandwich that it kills
it's
it a
great.
little bit.
My lady would love this because it's mango,
Yeah.
yeah.
but she would tell me that's hot.
And it, I mean,
Yeah, so
do you-
my
do
lady.
you- should I make that a little milder?
No,
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
not in my opinion. In my lady's opinion, maybe.
I
but
think she should just put a little less on.
Well, there's that.
yeah.
There's that. And it's
And
straightforward.
don't just scoop it in with a spoon.
Yeah. Well, you guys did take a fair amount. I was like, well, these guys are like, woo, okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. So,
He's always been a hot sauce freak.
yeah.
Freak.
I do enjoy. But you see, I like you mentioned. I like hot, but I like flavor.
Yeah, I still want
So do
to. I still
I,
want to enjoy my food.
There's a place, a sports bar in the little town of Smithville, Ontario, called Touchdown Willie's.
Shout out to Touchdown Willie's. We're all going.
Because
Yeah,
Tuesday
dude.
nights is half price wing nights and pitchers of beer or, I don't know.
Meet Keith there. Let's go.
Hey man,
We-
there's a
we
good
could-
motorcycle ride for everybody in that area.
Yeah, man,
It's
yeah.
anyway, and where I live, West Lincoln is known for poultry, chicken wings, like this, big, and you get a blue cheese hot buffalo, really good. You get about a.
I'm not really a blue cheese man.
They have others. They have a lovely
That does look good. That sound
hickory
good.
a hickory bourbon.
Sweet.
It's
That sounds
like,
good.
Yeah, I have a buddy of mine that I used to play hockey with, and he lives in the area, and we just get together about once a month, and we just shoot the breeze and drink beer and eat chicken wings and be silly.
A.
I love that.
Fucking A.
Yeah, it's great. It's just you walk in, you go, oh, yeah, whatever. They've got whatever ball game or hockey game or whatever is going on. So
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
yeah, touchdown, Willies, thank you.
Well, I'm looking forward to more than this.
Yes.
To be completely honest.
Me too in the hot one.
Oh,
Have you thought of a picture yet?
Yeah. You got it. Let's go.
I got to figure out something. What a hot time.
That's it. There's nothing like a silent moment when there's just scribbling
What a hot
for the WhatsApp, or the not WhatsApp, the Spotify.
Don't worry about
listening.
taking up too much room or anything.
Right under Carly's there.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
awesome.
What a
Papa
hot time.
Murph.
Yeah.
Papa Murph.
Perfect. Love it.
Love it, man. Thank you.
Keith, thanks for coming by,
What a
bud.
hot time,
Boys,
Papa Murph.
This has been I when you called, like you texted and what like really? Oh, that'd be so much fun. And it has been more than that than I anticipated. We could sit here and bullshit and talk. But what I loved about
All
it,
day,
we talked about silly things, but we also talked about some serious
Yeah, we did.
topics, and I like
Yeah.
that. We covered a lot of bases, so
Cool.
it was good. You can edit all that shit out.
No, man. Well, we're gonna edit.
No, I hope you're happy, and I hope so.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. No, you're a fella that both Andrew and I dig a lot. So
Yeah, big time.
Oh, thanks,
Big
boys.
time.
always have. And
Much appreciated.
I'm so glad you came.
Brethren.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. That's
right.
fantastic. Fantastic.
Well, and to all the viewers and listeners, keep an eye out for Papa Murph's Trini style Peppa sauce.
Peppa sauce. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Going against
Looking
new
forward.
a sponsor.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be awesome. It'd be
All
great.
right. It's going to be on our T-shirts.
that'd be sick.
Oh yeah, wouldn't it be great? Do t-shirts. I got to figure out. Like, I got a couple of friends who are good. Come up with something really good. This is what I want. Now create. And I love doing that. Give somebody. What do you see? I have a graphic artist friend who's also an editor friend, and it's like when he comes up with stuff, it's like fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So it's
Awesome.
really
It's
good.
a great
Yeah.
T-shirt.
A nice
Yeah.
T-shirt.
All right.
Yeah.
Then.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks again, Keith.
Thanks,
Appreciate
boys.
it, man.
Keith.
Yeah, most enjoyable.
Loved having you here.
Yeah.
Okay. Cut it, T.